We are in the building. Let me do a quick mic check. Quick mic check. Quick mic check. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get ready to get this thing started. Let's get ready to get this thing started. I'm dotting I's and crossing T's, lining it on up. Let's get ready to go. Let's get it.
Peace, folks. This is X from TPOT Media. Open your mind and wake your black ass up. You know what time it is. Hit that damn like button as you make your way in the door. Grab a seat, settle in, get ready. It's the Grown Man Hour with your host, my man, Bernard Riley.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Mumia Obsidian Ali. You know who I am. I need no introduction, right? And you're listening to the Grown Man Hour with my man Bernard Riley, heard weekdays right here on YouTube. What do you think about that? How about that? Now let's get back on with the show. Thank you.
What's going on? What's going on? What's up, good people? Welcome back. Welcome back to the show. Appreciate everybody coming in. Make sure y'all go ahead and hit that like button. Make sure you hit the like button. Shout out to the early bird squads, those that make it in bright and early before we even get things started. Hoop Jargon in the building says up and ready to roll. Let's get it. Shout out to Pernue in the building says good morning. Just tried it. Unfortunately, not surprised. My man Ride of God podcast in the building says great topic. That thumbnail is crazy. Damn shame. Woke Quill in the building. Woke Quill. Night Quill. Woke Quill. I get it. In the building says Google has too much influence. Google can men get pregnant. Okay. All right. We're going to Google some stuff today. He says getting crazy. Ducko and Brave Search FTW. I don't know what you're talking about right there. But shout out to Uneducated Lame in the building. Shout out to Stoic One once again. Trail Bentley, Kaya, Sun is Hot Raw, Gail at night in the building. Let's go. Be sure to click the like button. Absolutely. I make sure y'all click that like button. See Gully in the building. Demetrius. Okay. Higashikata speaks. A Gen Z POV. Okay. Y'all be losing me with the anime. Even though I rock with Attack on Titan. Don't spoil it. I'm not there yet. I'm not all the way at the end. I'm on like episode 19. I don't even want to get caught up to it's all done. But anyway. Season 4, episode 19. Attack on Titan is pretty good though. Attack on Titan is pretty good. But Stoic One in the building, Hood Conservative. He says, if your wife yells at you, it's your fault. Yeah. Uh, I hear you, man. I hear you. It's been like that for a minute. It's always been. I mean, I could talk junk and say I started this morning show. Shit. I could say that, but at the end of the day, I don't own the time slot. So shout out to Red Supreme, Ramil, and everybody else who do streams in the morning. I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. The competition is fierce in the morning. But when I started it, when nobody owned in the morning, that's how I marked out my little niche, my little territory. But you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Nobody owns a time slot, so everybody is free to hop in and jump in and do their thing whenever they. I mean, honestly, most people they stream when it's most convenient for them. That's just reality with it. Reality of what it is. But shout out to everybody in the building. Appreciate each and every one of you. Appreciate each and every one of you. Damn it, I need to adjust. Okay, y'all about to see some behind the scenes work because when I lean forward, I'm in focus, but when I sit back, I'm slightly out of focus. So that means y'all about to see me do some behind the scenes work here because I want to lean back. I don't want to be sitting up all damn day. I want to be able to lean back like this. So I got to put my hand about where my face is going to be. Put my hand about where my face is going to be and then focus the camera. Boom. You see how my hand went from out of focus to in focus, out of focus, in focus, right? That's about it. That's about it right there. So yeah, now I can lean back and be in focus. Now I can lean back and be in focus. Yeah, I don't want to be sitting up all day like that. No, that ain't good for the back. Gotta lean back with it. But shout out to who was that said? Yeah, you and Anton, I go back and forth with in the AM. Yeah, no, yeah, I mean, I heard somebody else say that too, that they go back and forth between me and Anton. For some reason, I think I'm subscribed to Anton, but I don't get his notifications. So, you know, I wasn't aware that he be on at the same time as me that somebody else said it, but it be a lot of stuff going on in the morning. It's fierce competition, and that's how it is. That's one thing that Black folks gotta understand. Like white people compete with each other all the time too, you know. If somebody open up a burger fast food joint, just think about when the first fast food burger joint opened up. Okay, eventually somebody opened up another one way far, you know, in a separate part of that city, and eventually another one opened up closer, and eventually another one opened up closer, then eventually another one opened up right across the damn street. It's only so much real estate. You know what? You understand what I'm saying? It's only so much real estate. So then it got to the point to where your little burgers that you made, okay, somebody is all right, son is hot raw. Do you got a wrench? I don't know if you got a wrench, but that's how you lose it. That's how you lose it, my friend. That is how you lose it. As a moderator, you are duty bound to take on the personality of the channel holder. And if I don't go at people like that, don't come in my chat room going at people like that, because that makes it look like I condone that message. That is not allowed, nor is it acceptable, my friend. That is not allowed, nor is it acceptable. Like, come on. Like, work with me, man. I don't. I've been so many words said. I've been so many words said. I ain't getting into it. I ain't getting into it. But no, you can't. Don't do that, bro. You can't. Don't come over here with that. Theo. Okay, don't throw me off, Theo. Now you got me going back looking to see what I just deleted and timed out. Now you got me going back questioning myself. No, that says F. Ramil, he's become a gossipy female dog. Yeah, that ain't acceptable. That ain't acceptable, bruh. Man, my Switzerland rule's been getting challenged, man. There's some stuff that I can't. I can't man, hey, I ain't even about to. Man, I ain't going. I ain't going. Y'all crazy out here with it. But no, that ain't cool. That ain't cool. Big Poke Dog in the building. He says, "What do we get for $10?" That's a good way to change the topic. Let's talk about $10 tricking on a Vietnamese prostitute. All right, let's go. What do we get for $10 around here?
What do we get for $10? Everything you want. Everything? Everything. You.
All right. They said pick a side. That's how people do me. They want me to pick a side and go hard at somebody on the other side. No, this is my side right here. Me. This is the side I'm picking. The content is in the content that when I do content, I go after either you know the commentary that goes after Black men, typically coming from the sisterhood or the gynocrats or feminists, basically the people who are the reason that this space was created to begin with. The people who are the reason why people like Angry Man just got in his car back in 2015 and started sounding off. He was sounding off on the gynocratic thought, how feminism has affected the social dynamics and relationships and everything between men and women. That's what he got in his car sounding off. That's what Obsidian, Obsidian in so many words, he probably will word it differently, but when he started in his bathroom, because he said the acoustics was better or whatever, I think he got on his laptop in his bathroom and started going off, bringing all the facts, stats, and data that gets overlooked to the table. And we about to go over some of those facts, stats, and data today. When he started doing all of that, it was in many point the gynocratic, as he called it, the Black vagina vision media feminist talking points, or the women who for years have dragged Black men's name through the mud, and Black men never built media platforms to challenge the narrative. So that's the side that I'm on. That's where I'm at. I'm for anybody who speaks against that, and I'm against anybody who speaks for that other side. So if that want to know what side I'm on the side of the reason why this space exists. And that's what I will go for. If people within this space start doing other stuff and bouncing all over, no, I'm not fighting a civil war. I don't believe in civil wars. Well, okay, there's probably a scenario where I could think where a civil war should happen. There are some scenarios where a civil war should happen, but generally, I don't believe in a civil war. So if this person want to go at this person and that person want to go at that person, I'm not getting in that. I'm not getting in that. I am on the side of men going after those that have made the arguments that that cause a space like this to even come into existence. That's what I'm about going after. That's what this space was started for. Men airing their grievances, complaints and critiques against women, either interpersonally in a either talking about interpersonal relationships or just from a macro lens, overall from a sociological perspective, talking about all the social dynamics against men and women. Now, this space has gotten to a point where you're going to get more views going after. Here I go into manosphere politics I want to stay out of. It's gotten to the point where now, yeah, you'll get more views going after a man in this space than what you get going after a gynocrat or a feminist. And then when you start going after the gynocrat and the feminist, it's men in this space who will tell you you're trying to shame, blame, and explain them. Like, the shit is weird now. It's weird now, and I don't get it. And that's why I said I'm staying out of it. I'm just doing my content. I'm just doing my content. That's my goal that I've been failing at because it's real difficult. It's real difficult to just do your content and drop the mic and walk off stage. You end up getting sucked into back and forth, you know. But yeah, is what it is. Is what it is. But I try to just do my damn content. I try to just do my that's my focus, just doing my content. Like, I don't even want to. I love doing a live show because I like talking to and interacting with y'all, but I don't even want to get to a point where I just bang out pre-recorded stuff and just be done with it. All right, I got you, son. This hot raw. All right, your wrench is back. But man, if you did that, I mean, that tell me that you in other people chat room doing that. So you got a wrench over here, but you in other people chat room clowning. Then yeah, I mean, there's people who got wrenches on my channel. I tend to not. I'm tightening it up. The people who got wrenches on my channel, when I see them cutting up, acting a damn fool in other people spot, they lose their wrench over here. Like, but you've been rocking with me for a while. I'm trying to figure out how to wrench you. I don't even know how to re-wrench you. I'm trying. Maybe I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, I didn't have to click down something. Okay, add moderator. All right, you've been reunited. Hold on. Hold on, wait, hold on. Hold on. Let me do it right. Where you at? I can't even find you. Where are you? All right. There, sun is hot, raw. I'm trying to night. I can't do it. I'm trying to night you back in. All right, okay. United back in. All right. Done. You're back in here. I cut his head off and put it back on. I cut his head off and then sewed it back on. All right, but yeah, be cool with that. Be cool with that. All right, let's get into the topic. We're supposed to be Googling stuff today. We're supposed to be using dear old Google. All right. So let me go to my Google and say, type in my wife yells at me. Just Googled my wife yells at me. Oh shoot, y'all gonna have a hard time seeing that, but I'll try to. I'll blow it up. I'll blow it up. But shout out to those who support the stream. That hoop jargon in the building says, "Let me hear some Johnny." I don't know what you're talking about. Let me hear some Johnny. I really don't know what you're talking about. Shout out to Theo Waff in the building. He says inflation. Okay. So there is my last $22. Right on. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Theo. Theo Waff, the man, orchestrator of the Black Manosphere meetup, getting brothers into the IT business, helping brothers get that money up. Shout out to Theo. We appreciate that. all the things that you do to help build better black men. We with it. Oh, wait, I'm on the wrong one. We're not supposed to be on My Wife Yells at Me yet. I am supposed to be on. What am I supposed to be on? That ain't what I'm on just yet. I am supposed to be on My Husband Yells at Me. All right. If you Google, and I think I should be able to see this now because I got it zoomed in, something vicious. My husband yells at me. My husband yells at me. First thing you get is domestic violence support, the National Domestic Violence. I think that is the National Domestic Violence. What is this institution called? Let's double check real quick. Okay, here we go. We got security alerts and shit. How do you get rid of that? Click the X in the upper. I don't see an X in the upper right hand corner. Man, they getting me good with this pop up. They saying click the X in the upper right hand corner, but there is no X. Oh, they killing me here. Hold on. Hold up a second, man. Okay. So they immediately give the National Domestic Violence Hotline. That's what they do. All right. My bad, yeah. My bad. I'm stumbling out the gates, as I quite often do. But immediately you type in My Husband Yells at Me. They give you the domestic violence hotline and all the resources you may need to try to receive domestic violence help. That is what they do. They give you an immediate person to call, immediate resources. You can immediately text somebody. You see right there, you can just go and text. You can chat live, you can text, you can call, regardless of, whatever is most convenient for you. There is somebody there waiting to help you. Waiting to help you. That is immediately what you get. A testimonial from someone says, I credit the hotline with saving my life from an abuser, giving me the facts I needed in an emergency to equip myself to get out. Those are the words of an anonymous survivor. Now, let me make one more thing clear. Okay, well, hold on. It says 24/7 access to resources and support specifically aimed at teen and young adult relationships. Love is respect. And I do want to make it very clear that this is a good thing. In no way, shape, or form. And they got it in Espanol. They got it in Espanol because we know them damn Mexicans. Okay. I saw a study on intimate partner violence in America, and it was showing how, a lot of it is bidirectional and mutual combat, and a lot of times the women be the ones that be initiating it. But in that particular study, not with them Latins, boy. Hector don't be playing. He ain't going for it. That was just one study I saw. I don't know if it's like that across the board, but with everybody else, the women be getting live first. But not on Hector. He ain't going for it. He do not be going for it. Let me remove my banners at the bottom of the screen. Huh. Yeah, I should be able to see that. Okay. All right. All right. So let me just make it very clear. That is all actually a good thing. Okay. That is a great thing. So, quite naturally, when you type in, my wife yells at me, what do you get? Well, first off, try talking with her about her yelling and how it makes you feel. Try talking to her about how her yelling makes you feel. Now, I'm going to show something in a minute from Dr. Hasan Johnson where he laid out that women are more likely to get violent, particularly in black relationships. Where he laid that out. Because the argument is they're soft shoeing it when it comes to women, violence against men. So you type in, my wife yells at me, and you get the, first off, try talking to her about her yelling and all of that and how it makes you feel. There's the conventional argument would be that, well, women aren't as much of a threat to men, so it's not that much of a problem. We have no reason to try to, provide the same resources and everything and blah, 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 blah. That's essentially what it has come to. It's like, so on one hand, they do want to effeminize men. They do want men to be softer and more in touch with their feelings, and women could be more industrious and competitive. And basically, they want men to lower their masculinity and women to raise their amount of masculinity. That's essentially what they're pushing for with an egalitarian society where everything is, where men and women are in many ways the same. That's essentially what they're pushing for. But if they're going to push for that, if they're going to try to declaw men to some degree, then yeah, you can't then start pussyfooting around when you're talking about these women throwing the first punch on men. you can't you can't start soft shoeing that one. You just can't. You can't have that both ways. It just doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. If you want to build a society where the men are being declawed in any type of way, then you gotta you gotta provide the necessary resources to these boys who grew up in this declawed society. You gotta provide the necessary resources to them. That's just what it is. Son is hot raw, man. Let it go, man. Let it go. He said, I'm de-wrenching my financial support to $2 today. Man, gone, man. Cut it out. Cut it out. but yeah. It's a show called Snap. These Women Don't Play. Yeah, E Capone. Jack Nickelback says, well, if you were a real man, she wouldn't feel the need to yell at you. Yeah. They're only doing that because you ain't no real man. Okay, sure. We can go with that. Speaking of wrenches, when I did the wrench purge, Jackie Jack lost her wrench. And you know what? She's giving it back. I'm feeling wrenchy right now. I'm feeling wrenchy. I feel like taking some more, but because the Son is hot. Rollo came in hot and lost his today, but then I gave it back. I'm in the giving back mood right now. He says that's that guy's from yesterday's argument. Oh yeah, no, that's a good point. That is a good point. That's what they do. They try to figure out a roundabout way to try to undermine what's being said. Anyway, first off, try talking with her about how it makes you feel. This is when you type in my wife yells at me. You type in my husband yells at me, you get the domestic violence hotline. When you talk about your wife, type in the Google my wife yells at me, you get this. First off, try talking with her about try talking to her about her yelling and how it makes you feel. Be sure to listen to her part of the story too. Be sure to listen to her part of the story too, because we know she hears your story all the time. She's been hearing your story her whole life because you're a man. So make sure that she is heard. That's what they're saying right there. Make sure that she is heard. If that doesn't have much effect, but your spouse is more or less cooperative, if that doesn't have much effect, but your spouse is more or less cooperative, try marriage counseling. Perhaps a professional might be able to help fix the situation. All right. Is it normal for your wife to yell at you? What to do if your wife shouts at you? How do you deal with a shouting wife? Is it normal to yell at your husband? Raising your voice. Okay, all right. Raising your voice is perfectly normal in couples experiencing conflict, says George. We raise our voices as emotion increases and also when we are having difficulty expressing feelings and needs. When arguments escalate, so can voices. That's sort of fair. That's sort of fair. I thought he was just saying only for, if he would have been saying only for women, I would have had a problem with that. But he's just saying in general. In general, when arguments get intense, so does the voice. That's fair. That's fair. So all right, we see the contrast difference in how what they say to do when you type into Google, my husband yells at me, versus when you type into Google, my wife yells at me. We see the contrast difference. Now let's look at this. Let's go here. We are about to pull up on, and I'm still dragging my feet on getting him on the show. I'm still dragging my feet on getting him on the show, but I will eventually, hopefully today, reach out to Dr. Hasan Johnson. I want to get him on the show to interview him on this exact topic. Black men are the most abused group in intimate relationships. Black men are the most abused group in intimate relationships. Just a little back is welcome to the Onyx Reports Daily Black Masculinity News, where we Black male justice advocates uplift Black men and boys using critical analysis. In today's video, Black men are the most abused group in intimate relationships. The Onyx Report is a program that critically analyzes the experiences, histories, and perceptions pertaining to Black males and American society across age, class, religion, sexuality, and occupation. I am your host, Dr. Hasan Johnson, Associate Professor of African Studies at Fresno State, Black male studies scholar, Black male justice advocate. In the program, we examine current events and major issues using an empirically driven Black masculinist theoretical lens. Wow, this is good. Thus including such concepts as the Black male dual economy, anti-Black misandry, philicism. This is where sometimes those big words get me. Math and English be kicking my ass. I got to fight back sometimes. Shout out to Tommy Sotomayor. The subordinate male target hypothesis, the subculture of violence theory, and the Black gynocracy. All right. Our goal is to remind people, include Black men themselves, of Black male humanity. Join us Wednesday, 5 p.m. PST, unless otherwise. Okay. You got the basic gist of it. I just wanted to that was an enjoyable read. I like to read people's overview. I need to do that on my channel. Just give a general overview of what my channel is about. But that was very well done and very well written. I liked reading that. But anyway, the show is about today is is what he talking about. I'm about to play the clip, but just giving a little backstory on it. Just he's the rates of bidirectional versus unidirectional intimate partner violence across samples, sexual orientations and race, ethnicities, and comprehensive review. All right. So I'm about to play a little bit of the good Dr. Hasan Johnson. About to play a little bit.
Paper that I want to share with you is what produced okay, so it's what produced this.
Now, before we get into this, I'll the link to this full video, I believe I put it in the description. It only got like 3.8K views, which ain't nearly enough. Somebody like Dr. Hasan Johnson, people like him need to be getting 100,000 views from time to time. But I put the link to this in the description. And I wanted to point something out before I rolled into this. But no, just make sure y'all check out this whole video. I'm probably gonna play like 5 minutes of it, but make sure y'all check out this whole video. It can be a bit tedious at times. Sometimes, when you really diving into the data, it can be a little tedious. It can, but I highly recommend highly recommend y'all check this out. But I'm going to play a little bit of this because it drives home the point. And it's important to look at it under this lens right here. This is the important lens you got to look at this under. When I take the Google search of what I did, Googling my wife yells at me versus Googling my husband yells at me, and they immediately go to talking about domestic violence and all the resources they providing all the resources for the woman when you type that in. But then you type in my wife yells at me is none of that. It's basically in so many words they're saying, well, have you tried listening to her? Like that's pretty much what they said in response. That's pretty much what they said in response. So take those two ideas that I laid out via Google, and then take that and then look at this data. And then also average into the equation the Black aspect of it and how those rates in this data is higher among Black people. So take all those things into consideration as you're listening to this here.
Now, I've shared this before. You guys might have seen this bumping around social media some years ago, right? And so basically, I think I shared it last week, as a matter of fact. This is one of the papers she wrote, and from it, somebody produced this nice little, pie chart. Kind of gives you an easy way to look at the way intimate partner violence tends to happen, and this tends to break from a lot of the fact sheets and casual statistics people like to throw out online, because it actually centers men in a unique way, a way that isn't often replicated, because people are trying to chase that money. So as you can see, right, 84% of relationships are nonviolent. Out of the 16% that are, now that's important in and of itself, right? Because when you talk about intimate partner violence, people want to give you this impression like it's more like 80 to 20, that 80% of them are violent and 20 aren't. It's an impression. But when you really look at some of the numbers, it kind of helps you situate the realities. 84% of relationships are nonviolent. Of the 16% that are violent, 58% of that is bidirectional, meaning you have violence coming from both men and women in the dynamic. Unidirectional is 42, right? So that means one gender is attacked. Unidirectional,
let me back up,
meaning you have violence coming from both men and women.
I had a weird phone ring that threw me off to stop me from listening to what I'm trying to show you. So I had to back up a little bit.
In the dynamic is bidirectional, meaning you have violence coming. 58% of that, of the 16% that are violent, 58% of that is bidirectional, meaning you have violence coming from both men and women in the dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
Unidirectional is 42, right? So that means one gender is attacking the other. That's unidirectional violence, 42%. And out of that 42%, 28% of those are initiated by women, only 14% by men.
Now, not taking a shot at any of y'all intelligence, it was kind of tedious, but when you understand what he just laid out, it is more or less pointing out that women are more violent towards men when it's essentially unprovoked and only one person is doing it. Like that puts the nail in the coffin to the whole thing about men abusing women. You got the 58% over here that's bidirectional. All right, two people doing it. Let me make sure I ain't got nothing weird on the screen and yet. Shit. Here I am doing it wrong. That whole time I didn't know y'all could. I thought y'all could see this. All right. I thought y'all could see this that whole time, and y'all couldn't. Okay. Al Boogie, you about to lose your wrench if you got one. He said, Bernard, you are the Mayweather of debates and reading. Man, don't do me like that, man. It's like it's a compliment and an insult. I like that you said I'm the Mayweather of debates. I do like to debate. I do like to debate. And I think I'm fairly good at it. But don't play me like that. I've seen Floyd Mayweather read, okay? There was a video on where he was advertising one of his fights on Dish Network. He was advertising one of his fights on Dish Network, and they had him read a script. They had him read a script, and it was horrible. It was like, come watch Floyd Mayweather. He even like he was reading slow when he read his own name. Floyd Mayweather versus, I don't know, Canelo Alvarez on Dish Network. It was like, come on, man. But I be struggling too. English be kicking my ass. I ain't gonna lie. It be getting me. But damn, Al Boogie, you ain't had to do me like that. Bernard, you are the Mayweather of debates and reading, man. Let me take that down. Said Mayweather just lost the memories of reading Rainbow. He took some shot. Actually, no, that's one thing Floyd Mayweather could say. He fought in a fighting style where he took very little damage. So I mean, he never been able to read, but he walked out of the ring whole in his right mind. Holyfield, don't know what went on with Ali. Maybe he would have got Parkinson. I think he would have got Parkinson anyway, but I think though it's debatable how much all the punches to the head caused a lot of his problems later in life. It's debatable because sometimes some people who didn't box end up the same way. So it's debatable, but still. Anyway, but Floyd Mayweather, he did a good job at of not taking any major damage, picking who he's going to fight, made sure he didn't get in any grueling brawls, made sure that he did just enough to win the round. He didn't take no chances. He didn't risk getting hit. He stayed away, stayed on the outside, jumped in or slip in just enough punches to win the round and then back up. He played it safe. He, in my eyes, even though, it was a moment in his career where couldn't nobody mess with him. But him and Pacquiao was supposed to have a trilogy earlier on in their careers. And I wish he would have gotten the ring with Oscar De La Hoya and Sugar Shane Mosley before they got old. I wish that would have happened. Then we would have really been able to truly see what Floyd Mayweather was made of. But he kind of babysitted and managed his undefeated record to the point to where we didn't really get to truly see it. He's still an all-time great, but I'm disappointed that we didn't get to see him, really go at it with Pacquiao when Pacquiao was in his prime. I think he still would have won, but I'm mad we didn't get to see it. But all right, back to it, man. Let's get back to it. So, all right, breaking it down once again. Y'all couldn't see it. I had it smaller, and I didn't know it was smaller. But anyway, this blue portion right here, that's the relationships that are non-violent. This red portion right here, which is 16%. This blue portion right here is 84%. So we got 84% of relationships non-violent, 16% right here that is violent. But of this 16% that's violent, half of it is bidirectional, meaning that both people are engaging in it. Mutual combat, mano a mano, squaring up. Let's go. That's 58% of the violent. So of this 16%, 58% of it is mano a mano, duking it out. Let's go. Which is crazy. And if you in a relationship with a chick where one day you bus driver uppercutting her and then the next day she's splashing grits on you, you're crazy and you need to get out of there. Just flat out. But anyway, 58% bidirectional. All right. 42% of the 16% is unidirectional, which means just one person is beating up and attacking the other person. All right. One person is beating up and attacking the other person. And the other person is not attacking or beating up the other person. Now, the knee-jerk reaction, the historical knee-jerk reaction is that when it comes to this narrowed down of the 16% violent, and of that 16% of relationships that are violent, that 42% where it's both people doing it, the conventional wisdom would be that the majority of that 42%, would be men doing it. So if we narrow this down to its own separate pie, and then we look at that, okay, that 42%, just to make sure I land the plane, that 42%, 28% of that is women of this 42%. 28% of it represents women, 42% of it represents men. So that means that when it's unidirectional, just one person attacking another person, the woman is twice as likely to be attacking the man. Twice as likely to be attacking the man. So if we separate this part right here, this 42%, into its own full pie of unidirectional relationships, relationships with unidirectional violence, where one person is attacking the other person and the other person is not attacking the other one at all. It would look like this. It would be the part of women attacking men would be red all the way. It would be 66%. 66% of it would be red, showing women's violence, and then a little technically it's still a sliver of 33% would be men. Like let that sink in. Let that part sink in. And then go back to the beginning of the video where I talked about what happens when you Google my husband yells at me versus when you Google my wife yells at me. And then look at the responses. Like that is just beyond the scope. I'll go back and play a little bit more with Dr. Hasan Johnson with Sam, because it was small when it was playing it. But I think y'all heard it. I think y'all got it. But I'll go ahead and play a little bit more. I'll go ahead and let y'all get that again, because it can't be understated. It can't be understated. And yes, I said I'm done talking about it, but I keep going back to what we just saw play out in a situation where a woman hopped up on a man's $1 million platform after being prompted to be quiet multiple times. She kept going. She kept egging it on. And these men who has built $1 million platform, she hopped up and literally punched, 2-piece. I don't know if it was a biscuit on there, but she at least got a 2-piece in on another super successful man. And then, if everybody just looked at it and said, okay, she's horrible, but no, what did we get? We got people trying to talk about everything that the man went wrong. It goes back to what I talked about Googling. When you type in something like "my wife yells at me," one of the things that they ask is, well, have you tried listening to her? That's practically what they do. When you Google "my husband yells at me," they give all the domestic violence hotline stuff. Then you go look at the actual data and you find out that when it's unidirectional violence, meaning one-way violence, it's women doing it more than men. And then now you take that part right there. Then it gets even trickier. It gets even trickier because when you take that part right there, then you also average it into the equation. And they get mad. They try to talk junk to us when we point this out, that in relationships when it's only Black women involved, meaning a Black lesbian relationship, the rates of domestic violence in those relationships are higher than any other relationship. Now, Black men who are branded with this violent tag of just being these violent, abusive monsters, it's like that. I'm sorry, that is being torn apart. I don't like to get too much into my personal stuff, but this is anecdotal. But with the men that I know, that I actually know, and I actually know the situation, their women have gotten violent with them. Just flat out. Flat out. The link is in the chat if anybody wants to come up and speak on this issue. I'm almost at the 1 hour mark. I do got a separate topic in the chamber because the video that I did has nothing to do with this, but it was on a child support issue, a child support situation. I did some pre-recorded content on that. If people want to come up and talk about this one, then we'll have the conversation about this. But I'll move on to a secondary topic that I got going on here. So I'll put that link in the chat if anybody want to talk about this, and I'll play a little bit more of what Dr. Hasan Johnson was talking about once again. I'll play a little bit more of that.
So nonviolent. Out of the 16% that are, now that's important in and of itself, right? Because when you talk about intimate partner violence, people want to give you this impression like it's more like 80 to 20, that 80% of them are violent and 20 aren't. It's an impression. But when you really look at some of the numbers, it kind of helps you situate the realities. 84% of relationships are nonviolent. Of the 16% that are violent, 58% of that is bidirectional, meaning you have violence coming from both men and women in the dynamic. Unidirectional is 42, right? So that means one gender is attacking the other. That's unidirectional violence, 42%. And out of that 42%, 28% of those are initiated by women, only 14% by men. Now, I've shared this several times over the last couple of years.
Somebody pointed out his face after he said that, and I see what y'all saying.
Now,
look at his face.
By women, only 14% by men.
He did look over at the camera like what now, bitch?
28% of those are initiated by women, only 14% by men. Now, I've shared this several times over the last couple of years. And tonight, I'm going to go through some information that she gives us in her actual study that'll help us kind of not only understand this more in depth, and you can see the depths by which she went through the shout out to Mike and Tara Shea for the Cash App. I hope I pronounced that right. Thanks for the support.
Oh shoot, we got
so I'm gonna show you a little bit.
We got Judge Dre in the building. Forgive me, I gotta clown you a little bit before you started. We talking about bidirectional or unidirectional violence against men towards women, and in that picture, you look like a skinny brother, and you said you used to mess with big girls. So I mean, I know I don't come on. I know they were doing you bad out there, big girl.
Hey, I mean, it's the truth. I mean, hey.
Pinned in between the stove and the refrigerator, and they let you out of that.
I don't know, something about them. Hey man, I'm always, as you see, I move a lot of stuff around at work, so I don't mind moving a lot of stuff around in the bed.
You gotta be careful, man. You skinny dude, them big girls, they lean on you, then they get that advantage. They get on top of you, man. She getting violent with you. You gotta.
You don't have to tell me. I've been doing it all my life. I've been doing it since before it was popular.
So, all right.
I mean, hey, I gotta go home and my bed now. But
all right, but what you hold on, wait, before you weigh in on this, I do want to shout out some super chats. Shout out to Mr. Donnie Mack in the building. He says, by these numbers, out of 100 couples, 14 women, 11 men, and 9 couples in mutual combat. Out of 100 couples, 14. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. And I think you got that right, but you know that math be kicking my ass, but I'm just gonna take it that you're accurate. All right. But cool. Good. Shout out to you. Appreciate the super chat. And shout out to Charles Merchant in the building. He says, hey Hood Pook, how many times have you had to grab your baby mom's arm to avoid getting your head beat in? Man, it's and gone, man. Shout out to Charles Merchant in the building. But no, go ahead. No, real talk though, Dre. You know, this is a serious discussion. I made a joke about, you messing with them big and violent women, but no, in all seriousness though, what you got on this topic? Oh, you muted, brother.
I hit the wrong button there. On the topic itself, I'll say like this. I said that's the main reason that that space was actually created. Mm-hmm. For topics like these, and that's why it even though we have disagreements among our content creators in that space, I believe when we're fractured like this, it takes away the attention from topics like these, because this is what really brought us together: the unfair treatment, the fact that if you were to sit up here and make that study, you were typing in anything, oh my gosh, we got 10 grand for you right here, and we can give you a free place to stay to move you away from your ex-boyfriend, this, that, and the other. You type it in for the guy, well, what did you do wrong? Well, all you have to do is give her what they want. Well, you really shouldn't make her upset. And it's like, well, wait a minute, that doesn't solve shit. Basically, they just to get you to bend over.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you really see that that's what it is. And I will say that I noticed that some of the times I see the division that comes between us is because I understand we need to soften the message up a little bit because some of us hit too hard, which is totally understandable. The reason why I picked the name Judge is because I know how to flip the coin over and look at it from both sides. Like, I know I am a hard hitter person. I hit hard. I'm one of the ones who agree with, Violet being a part of the solution to get to the goal we're trying to get there. I understand, but I know that that's not the only way to get there. And I understand that people who don't want to go that way can say, hey, look, Dre, we don't really need to do that, or we can do it another way. But I think that when you take that tool out of the toolbox, you kind of, lose all credibility, because sometimes the threat of the violent is more that keeps people at the table, to talk about it, to come to another issue. Because if there's no threat of the violent, then people don't need to talk. Because
Hold on, let me back up. Make sure I got you right. You're saying that. Are you saying that there needs to be a threat of violence?
I just say violence, right?
Okay, well, what did you say? 'Cause I'm sorry, because sometimes I start reading my chat and I lose focus on what's going on. So go ahead, bring me back. What happened? What you saying?
But it's like the threat of the violence is more that gets people to the table and gets people more to compromise and not do their thing their way.
Yeah, but you're talking about in a relationship. You're
When
saying
it comes to anything, like even with this, like, well, right, like basically, like I was talking about when we were talking about, like, when it comes to the content creators and why everybody's kind of fracturing now. You know what I mean? Everybody has different ways of getting to that said goal. And but getting back to the topic, basically, if you see, hey, what they did is, oh, we're gonna just make the men look bad. They're bad. They did this. They didn't do that. Whatever. They're bad people. But when the fact is, when everything goes on, they sold, like as they said, it was sold. When everything goes on, they look at it and say, hey, no, it's just them doing it. But really, when like I said, when you kick the dirt and see, well, wait a minute, it's more of y'all doing that. You guys are the one doing that, but we're getting all the consequences. Then you're getting all the resources for lying on us, saying that we were doing that. Well, you guys are the ones actually doing it.
yeah, no, that's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. I like how Jackie Jack put it. Going back to what the title was about, where I said,
It's like
Google.
saying this. It's like saying you guys are the ones burning down the houses, right? But you're blaming it on us, and we're giving you the resources to build new ones.
God damn. That's a good point. Jackie Jack in the building, she says, get out for women, stand in it for men. That was basically what the advice is when you type in, when you go on Google, when you type in my husband yells at me, they give her all the advice and resources she need to basically get out of that situation. When a man is in, you type in the same thing for the other way around. A man, if you type in, my wife yells at me, yeah, then it's basically the advice is to stay with her, stand in it, basically. Stand in it, deal with it. They want men to just deal with it. One thing that came up in his video with Dr. Hasan Johnson, one thing that came up later in it is the men, because he said he gets a lot of men who does this as well. They will essentially say that, hey, no woman is no major threat to me. I'm good. And it's like, somebody throws a pot of scalding hot water on you. Like you say at one point, okay, this woman, she can't hurt me. But okay, so saying somebody can't hurt you with a pot of scalding hot water? Are you saying somebody can't hurt you if you sleep? If you live with this person? It's like, so what's your take on that one? How some guys will try to, try to alpha their way through it and try to say that, oh no woman, even if she's a little violent, she ain't no problem. She can't hurt me. I'm a man. Ain't nothing she could do to me. What's your thoughts on that one? Oh, you muted yourself up again. Homeboy ain't even there. I've been talking to myself this whole time. Mic check 1 2. All right, he back working on his house. Judge Dre be taking the link. he be in the middle of building a house while taking the link. He says you got to deflect the water with your frame. Yeah. Your alpha, your alpha dust and alpha pheromones could turn that water into a gas upon touching you. It's just going to like and turn. Yeah, that's how that works. That's how that works. All right, I'm gonna let Judge Dre get back to building. I'll let him get back to building. No puns were intended there, but I'll let him get back to that. All right, we're gonna move on and transition to a secondary topic on the agenda here. This topic is based off a pre-record that I did, and I do want brothers to give their take and perspective on this one. Oh wait, I'm supposed to be Googling something else. But hold on, we'll dig into that. Hold on. Hold up. All right, right there. All right, yeah, I should be able to see that. But one thing that we were supposed to be doing, somebody sent me something. They said Google. Oh wait, hold on. Damn it, I lost it. Said Google has too much influence. Google, can men get pregnant? Oh, that's what he said. He said, Google, can men get pregnant? I'm just curious. I am curious. Is it possible? And the short answer is yes, it's possible for men to become pregnant and give birth to children on their own. What? I didn't expect that. Hold on, man. Hold on. I expected a long-winded answer. I expected a long-winded roundabout way answer. It literally says, I Googled, can men get pregnant? And it literally says, is it possible? Yes, it's possible for men to become pregnant and give birth to children on their own. December 2018. So that's basically, just round up. That's basically 2019. That's what Google is talking about. It's like it's shorthanded it to the point. Like I thought it was going to be some long-winded answer. And get the hell off of there. All right. Yes, it's possible for men to become pregnant and give birth to children on their own. In fact, it's probably a lot more common than you might think. In order to explain, we'll need to break. Let me make that a little bigger. In order to explain, we'll have to break down some common misconceptions about how we understand the term man. And they use man with quotation marks. Not all people who were assigned male at birth. Okay, that's what AMAB stands. Assigned male at birth identify as man. Those who do are considered cisgender men. Conversely, some people who were assigned female at birth, AFAB, identify. Hold on. Some people who were assigned female at birth identify as men. These folks may be transgender men or transmasculine people. Transmasculine is used to describe a assigned female at birth individual who identifies or presents toward the masculine side of the spectrum. This person may identify as a man or any number of gender identities, including non-binary, genderqueer, or agender. Many assigned female at birth folks who identify as men or who don't identify as women have the reproductive organs necessary to carry a child. There are also emerging technologies that may make it possible for a assigned male at birth individuals to carry a child. So right here at the end, after the long-windedness, they basically said no, because they said it's emerging technologies that can make it possible for somebody who's born a man to carry a child. But all they were saying, if to translate everything they just said here to English, what they are essentially saying is that a woman who's born a woman who identifies as a man can still have a child. Well, no shit. A woman who's born a woman, it don't matter if she calls herself a man or a unicorn or a goddamn alien, whatever the hell. No matter what she call herself, if she was born a woman, she was born with female organs, which means she can give birth. But they're saying just because this person identifies as a man, guess what? They're a man. And now they can give birth. Therefore, a man can give birth. So a man can give birth provided that he was born as a woman, but starts identifying and presenting as a man. Now a man can give birth. That's essentially the argument. That's why I said I thought it was going to be long-winded. That's why I said I thought it was going to be long-winded, and it turned out to be long-winded. They gave the long-winded answer right here on the link. But when you Google it, you don't get the long-winded answer. You just get a quick, is it possible? Yes. Yes, it's possible for men to become pregnant and give birth to children of their own. Well, damn. Well, damn. That was wild. That was wild. Judge Dre back in the building. You can unmute yourself.
Okay, yeah. I mean, like, if you see most of these articles and everything, how it is, because, like, have you noticed recently that you have seen so many articles and so many things and so many programs that are just sprouting out of nowhere talking about violence against women? But actually, when it goes down, when you look at the numbers, I don't know if it went out. Somebody just called me. Okay, am I back now?
Yeah, you back.
Okay, yeah, but I don't know why they called that phone there. Nobody got the number for that one, so it's probably a scam. But if you notice, all the programs have been, it's like, oh, all this stuff for women and this, that, and they're being mistreated and misused. And you sit up here and say, well, overall numbers are down. I mean, when you look at the numbers are actually down percentage-wise of people and all that. You know, especially when it comes to the men just out there just doing it on our own. We're doing it without, it being a mutual fight. But I think that really what it is just these are things that, they figure they have a female vice president. So they're going to push as many programs to help women out that are one-sided at all, They figure out, we'll get as many of these one-sided programs through as we can.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, which is smart on their part. I mean, I don't, you'd be stupid not to take advantage of it. And if you can just, still live off the thing, men bad, woman good,
Yeah. Al Boogie or somebody explain. I heard this in the chat a couple times. What is EBT show? The EBT show. I don't know what that is. I don't know what y'all talking about. I know what EBT is, like an EBT card, but what do it mean aside from that?
Probably means that basically they're looking for benefits, government benefit. Because you ever notice now? I mean, think about it. What they were doing that thing in Atlanta, giving the women $850 or whatever. I mean,
I thought that was Chicago where they doing that. They're rolling out the UBI in Chicago.
Okay, here you go. Like this, the main thing that they sitting up here talking about is forgiving the student loan debt. But when it all boils down, that's not a program. They say, oh, that's a program to help everybody. No, that program is more to help women. Because we already know when any government program comes out, most of the time the men don't even know how to fill out the paperwork. That's one reason why a lot of men don't really get the program, because they don't like to go fill out the paperwork. And they're too lazy.
That's the factor in the that's a major factor in the equation. Women will sit there and research how to figure out how to get some free stuff. They will figure it. They will research. A lot of men don't research it, but one thing that's worth pointing out, when I read it, it was kind of cloaked in the language of this is for basically single mothers. It was kind of cloaked in that language. I think men can still get it, but it was I forgot exactly what it said. I mean, I read it and I was like, yep, this is something that they rolling out. Basically rolling out UBI for women in many ways.
Right. they might as well just go ahead and say, I mean, we kind of already know. I mean, you know, and unfortunately, you sit up here and say, well, God, dog, you know, damn near like 75% of probably all government programs goes to females.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure they calculate that money. It's 75%. And a good way to tell it'd be a reason why the projects will be full of. I mean, you don't even have old veterans in the projects like that. You would think that would be, you know, okay, well, fine. We got some old men who couldn't pay the bill. We're going to let them have some of these houses in there. I hate to say that would actually do the project some good. Get some military vets in there, the ones that still got their mind right. Maybe they could help bring that area back, put some structure there. But, I mean, 75% of the programs go to them. Hold on, let me order.
All right. Let me hold on. What was I doing? Where's that at? All right. All right. I'm about to transition. I'm about to transition into a different direction here. So give me a second. Pull this up. I did a pre-recorded video on this right here.
Hey, Kendra G, my baby daddy pays my rent to make sure that our daughter is provided for. We don't have an official child support situation set up, but he is very reliable with the rent payment, so there is no issue. Well, now I'm dating someone else, and he said that my new guy can't come over to the house or stay over because he pays my rent. I don't agree with this. He obviously dates other women, and I should be able to do the same. He said he doesn't care about all that. He is very adamant that as long as he's paying my rent for my place, no man can come over or stay the night. End of discussion. Kendra G, I don't agree. What do you think?
Actually, what's so bad? I saw you talk about that the other day, and that actually show came up in my feed. I actually watched that whole thing, and I sit there and laugh. The problem is, we sit up here. One of the things you didn't point out yesterday is this: if in most states, say if the man was paying her rent, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people think that the child support numbers go as, oh no, you can only pay X amount of dollars. No, it doesn't work like that, buddy. What can happen is this: say if I was giving my woman $1,000 a month, even though that was more because I had money, other income that she didn't know about, right? The child support standards is just a guideline. The judge can still make you pay more because a lot of judges have actually been caught doing that. That's just a guideline. So if you were giving her $1,000 to pay, most judges will go down there and say, well, technically by law it says you should only be paying $600, but you've been paying $1,000 for the last that now, and it's in the best interest of a child, so you're gonna keep paying the $1,000. A lot of people don't know that. Speaking of a person been in it, a person that been in the system would tell you that. A lot of judges, I mean, just because they can go right, oh no, well, too bad you've been paying that amount, you're gonna keep paying it.
That's a new one on me. That's legitimately a new one on me. I didn't know that they would do that.
Yeah.
See, I thought situations like that where a guy was. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I'm just saying, ask the lead attorney. He'll tell you. That's just a guideline.
Okay, yeah. See, where I was at with it, I thought that if a guy was, I've seen this situation where a guy was, you know, giving her money or paying for something. He didn't want to be in the system. He kept himself out of the system by basically paying more than what the system would even require. I didn't know that I said it myself in the video that she kind of got him by the balls because she could probably, even if she don't, you know, comply to his demands, she could just say, forget it, and she can go down there and get it anyway. But I said that was depending on whether or not what he was paying was more than whatever, if the rent that he was paying was significantly more than whatever the court would order him to pay in child support, then she didn't have him by the balls. But it was similar or close. She had him by the balls, but now she got him by the balls even more, because if she can go down there, I think you said depending on the state or whatever, if she can go down there and say this is what he has been doing, and it's in the best interest of the child that he does it, then really he has no pull or power in the situation. She could go down there and do anything.
Right, he doesn't. As a person that's been, I've been to
like I said, been to jail for many times for child support. I should be resident child support expert when it comes to that. Especially with, you know, as you say, I got multiple baby mamas because each mother is a different case. They don't look at it and put them all together. So you do everything separate for each child, each mother. They go by mothers. So basically, you might have 3 kids. That's 3 different times you got to do everything. Everything's times 3. They don't let nothing be combined. And that's what they can say. Nope, you've been paying that amount, so do it. We got a judge here that no matter what, you're going to jail. He sends everybody to jail, like literally. We got a child support judge here in Cleveland, named Judge Ramsey. I mean, like literally, it's so to the point. As soon as it's getting near the end of the courtroom, your sheriff comes up behind you to cuff you.
I think I asked you.
I did 30 days in jail. I got out. I was out 48 hours. I went to court that day. Had him, and I'm like, okay, he comes. Oh, we're gonna give you 20 days. I'm like, I just got out Tuesday. He's like, well, who gave me? Why were you in jail? I said, because you gave me 30 days for non-payment a month and a half ago. And he was just like, what? I mean, like literally, I turned around. He's like, oh, we'll let you go. I'm like, yeah, I got out 2 days ago. Well, and I mean, like literally, I turned to the sheriff behind me. He was like, well, you already know the routine. I was like, because I knew he was about to put you in jail. I mean, that's bad when they know that.
Well, let me ask you this. I think I asked you this on the air before because I remember that you had leaked it out that you had owed an exorbitant. At one time, what?
300,000.
You owed 300,000. Now, in my mind, the only way that I'm sorry, say that again.
I'm down to about 120 now, but I'm owed about 70,000-80,000 in credit, but I haven't gotten it. But damn. I was owed 300,000.
Well, I want to ask you how you owe some credit, but before we get into that, I mean how they owe you some credit, I do want to know how, like, in my mind, the only way that's possible that something like that could happen is if you weren't paying it and she let the kid turn 17 or 16, 15, and then went down.
Like, that's how it works in my state. If I made good money at one time.
Okay.
I was charged with a crime, so that turned. To think about it, you were making like damn near 60,000 a year, between 40 and 60 at 19.
Mm-hmm.
Be charged with a crime, you go from immediately making money like that to making $9 an hour. So what the state did is say, nope, you used to make X amount of type of money. You are only trying to work beneath your skills because you don't want to pay. So they say, even though you are only making this amount, we set your child support at that amount. They can do that. Now people say, well, that's true. You do have some protection in the law because by the state in Ohio, the maximum amount of your money they can take is 65% out of your check. After that, they can't take more than that. But your child support order can be set higher than the 65% that they can take. So every month, even though you pay, you go into debt.
Okay.
Right.
All right, but okay. So wait a minute. If your child support was based off you making
60, say you make $6 grand.
Okay. All right. No. Let me lay it. Hold on. Let me lay it out. If your child support is based off you making $60K. All right. They even with that, they will still probably they will get you for how much per month were you asked to pay?
Right now I'm paying about 14, but
no, at the I'm trying to go back to when it gradually grew to 300K. When it gradually grew to 300K, how much were you asking to? How much did you have to pay while that was growing that much?
I was paying. My child support has never been under like $1,180. Never. That's the lowest it's ever been.
All right. So if I take $1,180 and I multiply it by 3 lifetimes, it may get $1,180 a month multiplied by
I showed actually
it sounds like it'll take about 300 years for that to get all the way up to 300K. I just don't know how you mathematically got there.
Let me explain to you how it gets that way.
Okay.
You have to pay for anything, any type of government program that the state gave you, you're responsible for that. Just like giving an example, like some people said, well, God, dog, you must have not been paying nothing. But then I'd actually pulled out my paperwork and actually showed. And they were saying, well, God, they were like, what? You're never going to have a dime. And I mean, like, literally, that's the reason why I work how I do now. Like everybody say, every time we see Judge, he's always at work. Hey, I got to pay. That's the only way you can pay it off.
Yeah. Okay. So my quick maths. Hold on, real quick. My quick maths. Basically, $1,180 multiplied by 12 months. That came up to about $13,000 a year. I had to multiply that by 23 years to get up to 300,000. To get up to 300,000. So, so I mean, was it a not? I mean, I know you kind of just explained it, but that sounds like a non-payment of, and I'm not.
Well,
I'm not charging you up or criticizing you or anything. I'm just saying that.
No, and no question. Any question you ask, I'm not that open book, buddy. Open book.
All right, cool. We already here, so let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and do it. So, I mean, did that accrue over 23 years? Is what I'm saying.
Oh no, I mean, I hate to say something. I had my son since he was 9. At one time, I was paying on one child. I was paying the most on that one, and that was the child that actually lived with me. So. But basically what had happened was I was working a job that I didn't make as much money as I used to make. But my child support was still figured at the higher figure, and I never got an adjustment. I was denied adjustments because the prosecutor said that I was trying to work jobs beneath me because I didn't want to pay. So they kept the child support at a higher rate. So every month they would take all my money, and I'm still going further into debt. Like say you made $2,000 that month, but your child support payment is $1,400. By the time you take out taxes and everything, you got nothing. It was time.
I understand you not having nothing, but if they taking nothing from you, how is that money piling up to $300K? That's what I was been confused about.
That was on all. That was a total on all. But basically, how they look at it is like this: if they get government subsidies, like say they get cheaper reduction in rent, you're supposed to pay all of that. Anything that they get, like I was surprised too. I'm like, how did it get up to $300K? It shouldn't be, but somehow they have it figured that there's other fees involved. By the time you look up, it's $300K. I mean, like literally, I showed the paperwork on Tommy Sotomayor's show back, 10 years ago when it was over. I was almost at like 340 something K. And I mean, like right now, I just cracked, I'm like 140. I mean, when you think about it, and I'm owed about 70,000, 80,000 in credit.
So yeah, that was my next question. So let's go ahead and deal with that. When you are owed a credit of some sort.
Yeah, I'm owed a credit of some sort because I paid the child support. They hit me for child support for 9 years for a child that used to live with me.
That part makes sense. You saying they took it for, did they hit it all at one time or what?
No, they put it on the back end.
That's what I mean. Like he was living with you, but she somehow pulled a judo maneuver on you and somehow got you to have to pay back child support for a kid that was living with you during all that time. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
That part I understand. And if they set that at $1,000 a month, okay, that part I can do some quick maths on that one. And quick maths. Shout out to everybody who remember where that came from. But yeah, just take 1,000. Well, yes, I mean 1,000 times 12 times 9. Then yeah, that's how they could just boom, just drop a 100K debt on you right there. So whenever somebody say that, man, I owe 170,000 in child support, that's a situation where a kid who they may very well have been supporting, but it was off the record. It was off the record. She went down there and then she pulled that judo move on him, and then now he got hit with some lump sum that she just basically got him, that he didn't help raise the kid, took care of the kid, paid for all kind of stuff, out of pocket off the record. And then now the kid almost grown, and she about to have him by the balls for basically 18 more years. until she pay that shit. But until we pay that,
Well, I'll say this: they did change the laws. You can't do that. They can't fuck you no more like that. The only way you can get fucked really now, because they changed the law here in Ohio. The only way you can get fucked really now is they can get you from. They can hit you with the birthing expenses, like a part of, like, say, if a woman didn't have no insurance, so that can go on your child support too. A lot of people don't know that. They can hit you with that because I ain't gonna lie, that's where they hit me with a lot of fees from them having the kid. They can add that back on your child support, but now they cannot get you no further until they can't get you any, like, they can only get you from the date of filing. Like, she can't wait 12 years and then be like, he owed me 12 years of back child. Nope, the date you filed the paperwork is the date it starts. Because otherwise people were getting buried. It was like one chick I knew, the guy, the child was 17. She waited and he took care of the kid. All I bought him a car, everything. It was like he waited there and then she boom put child support on him. And now he owes 17 years back child. And he had been a father in the kid's life the whole time. Like, he bought the kid a car. That's going to show you how close they were. Everything. Yeah. I mean, it was like, and now I'm like, wait a minute. Now you're paying, somebody just put $100K debt on you as your kid is grown after you done all the work. It's like, now they got up 120 grand you owe.
Yeah, that's wild. And OGJ Speed in the chat room says, Bernard, the math will never add up. He's gaslighting. OG, oddly enough, a lot of people won't believe this. I actually miss you. You ain't been on my show in a while. I miss arguing with you. I've had a lot of unworthy opponents come. None of them quite measure up to your level of lunacy, and I kind of miss it. But anyway, we got the good brother Xavier in the building.
Only from TPOT Media. Open your minds.
Brother Xavier, what's going on?
Peace, Brother Bernard. What's good, Brother Judge? He's correct, man. I just want to jump on it and kind of add on to what Brother Judge was saying. Because before I got custody, I had the same kind of situation. And I was paying back then, I was paying $1,600 a month. But I went in for something called a support modification, and I was able to get it dropped to $950 after a while, up until I got custody. And I was still paying when I got custody for a little while, because you have to go into court and file these petitions and all that stuff to get this stuff to stop, because it's not like it just stops automatically. Because you can get, and I had full custody. I didn't have 50-50. I had full custody, and I was still paying child support like 7 months after I had gained full custody. But I had to go to a couple court hearings, to say, hey, look, I got custody of the kids, XYZ, so why am I giving this woman money? Right? Now, what happens with brothers oftentimes is that they get buried under something called arrears. And what arrears is whenever you have a lag in the pay, especially if it's a long amount of time, those arrears add up and they put interest on it. All right. They put interest on the money that you're owed. For instance, you could be a brother that's working a good job in the whole nine, but if you mess around and get hurt and you're out of work for, say, 3 months, 4 months, it's not like the meter stops running because you stopped working. No, the meter still runs. You still owe that money. And if you don't manage to get another job or don't manage to get a job as good as the job you had, it doesn't change anything. Because guess what? You may have had a good job where you could afford to pay $1,000, $2,000 per month, but you mess around, like Brother Judge says, something happened to you, you do a bid, or you get hurt, or something goes wrong in your life. Guess what? You still have to pay that $1,000, $2,000 per month, even though you're not making the same amount of money, because the order has already been set. Now you can attempt to go back into court and say, hey, look, I know I was a corporate executive, last year, but now I'm a manager at Walmart. And it may or may not work. It may or may not
most of the time it doesn't work.
Yeah, depending on who the judge you get, it's a crapshoot. They may look at you and be like, okay, you work at Walmart now, so we're gonna drop it down to X, Y, and Z. But a lot
Let
of
me say,
times, like Brother just said, it'd be like, no, it's been set here, and they'll tell you, well, you better work 2 jobs, you better work 3 jobs, you better work. That's what they'll tell you. Yeah, they will tell you that. I know brothers who were um $60,000 and $70,000 in arrears with child support because they had went and did 2, 3, 4 years in jail. And guess what? The whole time you locked up in there, the meter still runs. And at the end of every year, they apply X amount of interest to it. So when you do get out of jail, guess what? You still owe that money even though you were totally incapable of working.
let me add
That's how
this.
that works.
Let me add this. I said, and this is one of the things they don't realize. Okay, so I say, you a person, you making $25 an hour, right? You got a real decent job, 50 grand a year. Boom, something happened, you get hurt, you're out for a year for say 8 months or 2 years, have surgery. But then your next job, you making $8 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're making $8 an hour. Your child support set at the $25, which is already, and then set on the high end of that. Then what they'll do is this. Well, we're taking all your money that come out of your check. Oh, you want to get an adjustment? Guess what? To get an adjustment to even be considered, it costs $200 to file the paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
So wait a minute. I made $100 a week, and you're going to tell me you want $200 just to look at my case, per case. But let me go on and get on here back to work. All right.
Yeah, it all depends on what state you're in, what jurisdiction you're in. Because every state is different. Some states, I mean, they'll go ahead and modify whatever your support order is. If you file the proper paperwork. But some states, they don't give a damn. You can come in there with all the proof you want and see me. When I went for my modification, it wasn't because I had lost my job. I just thought $1,600 was too damn much.
Yeah.
And
What was the $1,600 based off? Was it based off what you was making at one time, or like how did it get? Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Well, the job that I was working was a really, really good job when I was a young guy. I mean, I had to pay I think it was 17 at the time. I think it was 17.5% of my monthly income. I was working a really, really good job at the time. I was making really, really good money. And that was 17% of my monthly income. So that's what I had to pay because that's where they set it at. In New York, in the county that I lived in, it was mandatory 17%. All right. There's no negotiation. Whatever you make that month, you paying 17% of it. Whatever 17% of it is. And at the time, shit, man, I was making back then I was making like $9,000 a month. Yeah, I was making like $9,000 a month. So, 1,600 of that was going to child support. So, I just thought it was too damn much. But see, what I did is I just came in with my living expenses. I came in there copping the plea, like, look, I got to pay for this, I got to pay for that, I got this, I got that. So I was able to get mine dropped to $950. All right. So I ended up paying $950 a month for a while, but eventually I just went ahead and got custody because, you and I, we spoke about this, his mother, she's a lunatic, and I just didn't like the way she was taking care of my kids. So, I eventually got full custody of mine. But like I said, 7 months after I had got full custody and the kids was living at my house, I was still paying child support. I was still paying child support until I filed
How many
petition.
months? How many months?
Seven. For 7 months after that. But what I did is I filed a petition right after I got custody. Took me 6 months to get into court. So that's how it was eventually resolved. Because it's not like they say, okay, well, the kids live with him now, so we can go ahead and fix this. No, just like if you get because see, what they do is, especially if you go through a bureau, right? It's different if you're just paying the money to the woman yourself. But if you're going through something called the Child Support Enforcement Bureau, which is what they have out there where I used to live, they know how much money you make because see, what they do is they hit your social security number and they know where you work. They know how much you make. They know all of that. So when you change jobs or get another job, they know it. They just don't give a damn. They
Mm.
don't care that you used to make $10,000 a month and now you only make $2,000 a month. They don't give a shit. They don't. I know brothers who had child support, man, and let me tell you something. These were dudes who probably made $1,500 a week, and they would come home with like $400 out of that $1,500 that they made per week. I mean, it's crazy. New York don't play no games when it comes to that child support crap. They don't care what happens to you. Like Brother Judge said, you can get hurt, be out of work for a year, getting surgeries and trying to get your injuries and therapy and all that. That meter still runs, and it runs at the same rate as if you were still working. So what happens is that money builds up, builds up, builds up, builds up. And like I said, they will apply interest to that money at the end of the year. So now not only do you got all this back support that you had to pay, now you got the interest. And if that happens to you over the course of time, multiple times, you'll look up and be on 50,000, 100,000, 200,000, because the meter never stops running no matter what happens. I told you, I knew brothers who went off to prison. They were locked up 4 and 5 and 6 years. Guess what? The meter still runs.
I hate to even snicker or laugh a little bit about this, but theoretically speaking, okay, he went to jail for, I don't know. He did whatever he did to go to jail. It had nothing to do with child support. He did 3 years in prison. The meter's still running on his child support. He's that far behind on child support. So theoretically speaking, soon as he walked out of prison and stepped on free American soil, technically, soon as he step out there free, is it not a warrant for his arrest for the back child support that piled up?
Well, it depends. It depends, right? If they come at you and they file a petition against you to have you appear, right? Because they don't just come and lock you up out of nowhere, right? They actually have to get you into court and say, okay, because you're not locked up for owing the child support. What you're locked up for is violating a judge's order. All right, you're locked up for contempt of court because
Right.
technically you violated this judge's order. So now they lock you the hell up.
Well,
And
that's hold on, but that's sort of my point. He walked out of prison, he get in the car and he ride, and he's driving home. Okay,
mhm.
he's getting a ride home. I'm assuming your license
he on
expired or
he on
whatever.
he on the bus.
Okay, that's probably the safer bet. that might be safer for what I'm about to say. He's riding home. They get pulled over, and quite often they will ask for the ID of the person who's in the passenger seat. He gives his ID. They run his name. I hope. Well, no, I hope the system is good enough to know that we're not going to issue a warrant for somebody while they're locked up.
No.
However, once he's free, and whatever happens in the system that make the simple fact that he owes 3 years of back child support now that accrued while he was in prison, essentially whenever they run it through that, yeah, he's going to get out of prison and then going to at some point, maybe not on the ride home, but eventually a warrant for his arrest will be reproduced again for the child support that piled up while he was in prison. I don't know how that doesn't. I mean, that it sounds like that's what happens.
Yeah, it often does.
I want you to
does.
tell me. I want you to tell me why I'm wrong. I want you to refute what I'm saying here. But
well, I can't. Well, if you're in jail, they will actually bring you into child support court. If you done fell behind, or because they usually jump on you quick. They jump on you if you fall behind, like say a few months. So if you're in jail and you done fell behind, they're gonna know you're in jail. So they're gonna bring you in And guess what? What they're going to tell you while you're in there is that you need to pay X, Y, and Z. Now, they're not going to say, oh, well, we just going to stave it off. We're going to defer it until you get out of jail. No, you're still under the obligation. Going to jail doesn't get you out of the obligation. Getting hurt, losing your job, it being in the hospital, none of that takes you out of your obligation. You're still obligated to pay it. But far as like when he walks out of jail, they're probably not going to let him walk out if he has active warrants. He's probably not going to get out of there, because I'm pretty sure they're going to do like a warrant check before they let you go. But what's going to happen is wherever he's living, once they find out where that is, he will get some papers sent to his house to say, hey, look, you need to come into court. Now, if he comes into court, they're going to say, well, you owe the $70,000, with all the arrears and shit for the years you was, in the penitentiary. And what they're going to do, they're going to give him an opportunity to pay it. But see, that's just it. If you've got X amount of arrears, they're going to want you to pay towards those arrears first, because what they do is they take the money and they get, they put it towards the arrears first, and you have to knock those child support arrears down. And then once you knock the arrears down, then that's when they start applying the money that you pay to the original order. So and it's kind of crazy because these people don't give a damn, man. I mean, they don't care that you about to lose your house. They don't care that you're a truck driver and you need your damn license to do your job. They don't care about any of that, man. I mean, these people are ruthless when it comes to that child support shit. They are ruthless with it, and then they will give you no type of deference whatsoever. All right, they don't care what your situation is. They don't care how bad you living. You walk into the damn courthouse and the judge will say, "Oh, well, get another job, work 2 jobs, work 3 jobs. We don't care." That's kind of how it works, man. So any brother that's paying child support, a big up to you, man. Because usually child support, and this is what's so stupid about child support. I'll say this and I'll shut up. Child support is stupid for this reason, because usually before you're paying child support, right, the money that you're giving your kid's mother is probably more than what the child support is. I mean, because you're doing stuff, right? You're paying for the kids' karate class. You're paying for the kids' clothes. You're buying your kids gifts, and you're paying for, whatever they need, and you're giving them money. All right. So she go down there and file for child support. Usually the amount of money that she gets in child support isn't even as much as what you were providing, because you were taking them back and forth to school. You were paying for the karate class. You were paying for the piano lessons. You were buying the clothes, the sneakers, the Nikes, the PlayStations. You were buying all of that. So you were probably investing $1,500 a month in your kids anyway. And she'll go down there and file for child support. And guess what? Now she's only going to get XYZ percentage of what you make. And that may not even add up to $1,500. That may add up to 8. That may add up to 9. So it's kind of stupid the way it's set up, because a lot of these women, if they was to just chill out and let the man do what he do, everything would be fine and they would benefit. Because see, I know me, once I was on the hook for like $1,600 a month, you think I was going over there freaking buying all this bullshit? Absolutely not. And see, that's the thing. You pay all this child support to these women, and guess what? Your kid's still on the phone talking about, oh, Dad, I need a pair of sneakers. Oh, Dad, I need this. I need a coat. What the hell you talking about? Didn't a $1,600 check just come to that damn house, Negro? So, there's that too. Because guess what? The mother taking the money and she going out, she buying nails, she buying a car, she entertaining her Negroes and all this kind of foolishness. And your kid on the phone talking about he need a pair of boots, and a damn check that just went to that damn house like last week. So it's tricky, man. I think the child support thing, if you're gonna make somebody pay child support, the child support should be based off of the need of the kid. And guess what? If she's getting child support, she need to her ass need to be audited every 3 to 6 months, and she need to be coming through with receipts proving that she's spending that damn money on the kid and not, out in the club or buying a car and all sort kind of foolishness. But that's all.
All right. Leon 008 in the building. He says, sorry, but I paid every dollar for the mother of my son to give birth to him. No man should have an option if they did not pay. I don't even understand what he's saying right there. Sorry, but I paid for, sorry, let me make sure I'm reading it right. Sorry, but I paid every dollar for the mother of my son to give birth to him. Okay. No man should have an option if they did not pay. I don't understand what you're saying. Do you understand that what he's saying? An option to do what?
That's opinion. Has an opinion.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I thought that said option. That damn it, I can't read or see.
I guess he's saying that you shouldn't have an opinion if you're not a person who paid child support. I don't know. I don't know about that one.
No. Now that I know that he mean, now that I know he's saying opinion, I completely disagree with that. You're doing what women do. You're putting a standard on whether or not a man should have an opinion on these issues as it pertains to fatherhood based off how much money goes from his wallet to the woman's purse. That is not the extent of a man being a father. More like, I'm just that part. That yeah, gone. Yeah, leave me alone, man. Leave me alone. That part of it shouldn't even be a thing. I mean,
no.
If it's a situation where you have very limited access to the kid and sending money is all you can do, then that's when, sending that money is more of a priority. We're talking about people in the same city with each other. We're talking about that. Like when we're talking about something like that, I look at a father's worth and value. How much are you with? How much is the kid with you? Those are the questions that I'm asking. You just saw, you heard X talk about custody. So a judge said he had to end up paying a bunch of child support for a kid who he was raising for 9 months. So this is so you come in with that same energy that women come to this problem with, where it don't even matter if you could talk to women about this, and it could be a situation where it's 50-50 custody, 1 week on, 1 week off, and they still will sit there and try to be like, oh, well, how much more money do he make to her? Oh, if he make more money to her, he still need to send some money over there. Or even when the court, because the court kind of feel that way too, technically. And so even when they run the numbers, and let's just say he make $5,000 a month and she make $3,000 a month, they will still do some calculation, and he may end up having to pay, some $300 or something a month. It was that exact situation put out there on social media, and women were like, 300 ain't nothing. That ain't enough. And I'm like, it just said that it's 1 week on, 1 week off. Like, but it doesn't matter. They view the contribution as how much money goes from his hand to her hand, not how much is the child being provided for, how much is he taking care of the child, how much is he with the child. They will fight for him to be with the child less so they can get more money. And so you're buying into that when you say when you say what you said right there. You're buying into it. You're buying into it. I paid, and if you didn't pay, then you can't say, as if that's okay. I hope you're also a good father. In addition to you paying whatever you paid, I hope you're also a good father. I hope you're also raising the kid. I hope that
it's
too.
Tricky, man. It's a tricky thing when you think about, this child support crap, because who are the dudes who end up paying child support? The dudes who actually have the ability to pay said child support. You never see those dudes with 15 baby mamas. You never see them in goddamn child support court. It's usually the guy who gives a damn about his kid, wants to be around his kids, wants to support his kids. Those are the guys who they drag in a child support court. They ain't chasing after those guys. Them 15 women ain't chasing after this guy who he all day baby dad is and dragging him into court and all sort kind of foolishness. Those are not the guys that are in child support court, man. Though the guys that are in child support court are guys like you and I and Judge who are willing to pay the child support, who actually care about the kids. Those are the dudes that are in damn court. Those are the dudes. Those dudes are all in multiple baby mamas. They will never enter a damn child support court. You know why? Because see, when you care about your kids, and this is the thing that pisses me off about women, when you care about your kids, they do every damn thing they could possibly do to, number one, keep you away from your kid, and number two, try to ruin your damn life. All right, and use the kids to do it. But if you a dude that don't give a damn about the kid because you got 9 other kids somewhere else, them women are practically chasing those dudes down, talking about, oh, when you come to see your daughter, when you coming to see your son. See how that works? It's like if you act like you don't care, they're chasing you with the kid. But if you do care, they're constantly running away with the damn kid. It's the silliest of things, man.
No, I know
Silliest of
that. I
things.
know that firsthand. They will use they will use the fact that you care against you. That
Yep.
that that's their biggest weapon. It's it's Joker. It's the Joker pushing somebody off a building. You know, Batman got to go run to save that person. Now the Joker can go in and finish robbing the bank or whatever his master plan was. Just throw somebody off a building so Batman can go diving. That's essentially how that works. Yes,
Yeah.
if you care about your kid, yeah, that will get used against you. C
I
Gully.
see my arch nemesis is in the chat.
Oh yeah, J Speed could take that link. J Speed could take that link. But shout out to C Gully in the building. He says in most cases it weighs heavy on the mother's stance on it if jail time is activated. In most cases, it weighs heavy on the mother's stance on it if jail time is activated. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. One thing I do want to acknowledge, or two things real quick. Shout out to Timothy Williams. I see you down there. He says support Big Brother Bernard 100 back to real Black Manosphere content. Shout out to you. Appreciate you. Appreciate excuse me, do appreciate that acknowledgement. And another special acknowledgement to Joe Ethereal in the building. Joe Ethereal in the building sent a $101 super chat. Definitely appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that. You man, shout out to everybody who support the stream. Shout out to everybody who support the stream. I definitely appreciate it. We got somebody else coming on up in the building. King Trini in the
Hey, what's
building.
up?
Do appreciate you coming up. What's up, man? What you got on this subject?
What's up? What's up? Y'all can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, what's up? I pretty much came in late, but on the subject of child support, I would have to agree with a lot of what the guy was saying. But I would just like interject this one little thing. Um, a lot of the child support system is was kind of built to how should I say this? Disadvantage certain people. Like, and what he was saying about they really target like people who want to take care of the kids. He's not wrong about that. He's absolutely not wrong about that, because I'm a person who actually received child support growing up from my father, and my father is from another country. They were still able to track him down. He had no problem coming here, doing what he had to do to get me the child support. The child support that I received was only $200 a month. I would rather have my father in my life than $200 a month. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So like the money in child support really doesn't make sense. But the reason why the money doesn't make sense, because child support is not about the children. Child support was really about just sticking a wedge in between man and woman. That's all it was. And ever since it's been implemented, if you look at it, marriage rates have been dropping, and hostility between men and women, definitely within our own community, has just skyrocketed. It just skyrocketed. Another reason child support was implemented was to keep track of the financial gains of black men. A lot of people don't know this stuff. That's why they have so much power to get access to your bank accounts and to freeze them and to do all of those things, because they can absolutely keep track of how much black men are gaining as a whole, and how much or even if we're gaining anything as a whole, as far as percentage of wealth the Black community owns, they can keep track of that through child support. And the reason why they can keep track of that, because usually the men are the breadwinners of the household. If you can keep track of what the men holistically are making, you can tell whether or not they're catching up to you economically or whether or not they're stagnant. And that can tell you whether or not they can be a economic problem for people as far as being competitive. So there's a lot of things with child support, but the main thing about child support is it pretty much incentivizes women to lie. I know men who are paying child support to women they don't know and children they never met. That's because you don't need proof of the child being the dude being the father. All you have to do is just provide a social security number and a name. That's all you have to do. You provide a social security number and a name. The court system will find that man, bring him to the court system, and then he has to go to he has to prove he never met this woman. I know that personally because I just went through that in Jersey. I just went through that in Jersey. A woman I never met tried to get me to pay child support for a kid that is not mine. I've never met you.
Damn.
And the only reason why I was in Jersey, and I live in Brooklyn, the only reason why I was in Jersey is because she just gave my name up and just, honestly, for my opinion, I really believe she just raffled out a social security number and it just matched. And then they decided to call me and I had to go to Jersey, and pretty much, luckily I have a sister that lives in Jersey that validated everything I was saying, and the court system really looked at me, and they really didn't even want to let me go. They really still wanted me to pay child support, but they had no right to have me pay child support because that's not my child. I don't know this woman. And once the woman actually admitted, no, I don't know this man, that ended the case. If she would have went in there and said, no, I know him, I would be paying child support right now for a kid I do not know.
God damn.
So you went in the court system, didn't even have DNA or something like that.
Exactly. It was no DNA or nothing. You don't need DNA.
I know. What I'm saying is, either way, if she had to say she knows you, they require you to take tests anyway.
Oh, yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah.
Fact.
So I'm trying to figure out what y'all need to stop making these. Not you, sir, but all these stories I heard this morning. Y'all need to stop making bad investments in your dick. That's just bad investments.
I would agree with that.
You know what I mean? That's number one. And number two is, where you getting these fucking attorneys from? You might as well put a bounty on my head right now, Bernard, because I'm finna go in.
All right. Hold on. Wait. Time out. Well,
I'm about to jump down. I would love to stay up here and spot. No, I gotta go, OG. I ain't sitting up here arguing with you. You want to argue with me? You got my phone number. Call me. Call me to argue with me, OG. I gotta get out of here. I appreciate you letting me up, brother Bernard. Peace, brother Blackbridge, and peace, OG. Call me if you want to argue later. I'm out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me say this. I'm putting the bounty at like $2,000. I'm putting it so high that y'all ain't coming for. He ain't been here in a while, so I'm letting him rock out today. All right. He was missing in action for so long. I thought he maybe died of old age, but he's still ticking. So we're gonna let him rock. And I'm glad Judge came back because you was charging him up with something fallacious. I would say so, but you said that he was gaslighting and he was making up a story or whatever, or this or that. I still have a hard time understanding how that it got that high. He explained it. I understood some of it, with the kid that he was raising for 9 years, and then she went and pulled the judo on him down there, and okay. I understand how that could I understand how that could put. I understand how that could put $100,000 on you all at one time. I get that, but overall, that $300K he said oh shit, damn, he just dropped off. But no, but go. All right, go ahead, OG.
Well, you was trying to add up the math. You didn't see the shit wasn't gonna work over, so you just went past that shit. And even when he tried to explain it, goddamn it, he had to have a baby back when Jesus Christ was born. They have that much money on the goddamn thing. and he couldn't really explain it.
That's funny.
I was like, man, you've been on child support for 300 years. When I
300,
did
2,000.
$1,100 takes a long goddamn time to come up to 300,000. You know what I mean? So he couldn't explain that, so we let him rock with that. We let him rock with that. But
I'm gonna be honest with you. With the
wait, hold on. Wait,
system,
can you hold on? Wait, hold on. Let
OG,
can you hear? Can you hear OG?
Yeah, I can hear him.
Yeah, let him go. Let him get it off.
Yeah, let me get this shit off. I've been holding this shit for a while. Anyway, so I'm saying to myself is, where these motherfuckers getting these attorneys from? Under a shade tree, at a picnic? What the fuck they getting these attorneys from? Because these attorneys is taking ass for a ride. Damn what the woman is trying to do. Because at any given time, you can go back in that courtroom and make some adjustments. You know that, Bernard. You can make, hey, what you doing? Taking a condom off right now? Because what the fuck is going on?
Oh no, I'm actually just leaving work. I was fixing putting my lunch away. My bad.
I was just about to say I'm glad you start using condoms now. But anyway,
nah, I'm at work, bro. I'm a teacher.
Okay. I got you. But you know shit going on work. Clinton got his shit on at work, so you know what happened at work. But anyway, so I'm trying to figure out where these brothers getting these attorneys from. You know, he's back. Let him
okay. Hello.
Man, why everybody is taking either condoms off or jumping off a bridge as soon as they jump on the live stream? Like all these background noise is going. It's crazy.
It's people. It's people.
Y'all sound like y'all be on roller
people in the house and working. Okay,
yeah,
now I'm
sounding like y'all be on a damn roller coaster when you're on the live stream. All right.
I'm gonna step out here for a minute. Okay, now
all right, take your time. Take your time. Well,
take your time and make sure your neighbors don't see you stealing their Wi-Fi.
Hey man, as much money as I own child support, they don't understand why I'm stealing their Wi-Fi. Okay, I'm stealing their electricity too. Okay.
This is the problem I have. This is a problem I have. I have seen you, brother. You're very intelligent. Mm-hmm. You have very good arguments, you know, and you have very good points. Mm-hmm. I'm just trying to figure out. I see you maneuvering now in this YouTube street. You've been, you know. What I'm trying to figure out is how y'all letting these women outsmarting y'all ass, and y'all so smart when y'all come on these goddamn channels.
Oh no. Actually, I'm just gonna give you an example. Like I try to tell you all the time. The reason why people say, "God damn, Judge, you've told all of your business." My first 3 years on YouTube, I use my full legal name. Everybody knows me. Now, to go to show you is this. The reason why, that way, it's all public information. So basically, I mean, I can get my name now. You can look it up. I've had people tell me child support ain't no felony. What the fuck you talking about? I got 3 felonies for child support.
Damn, you can't even own a gun because you had a bad investment in your dick.
Well, unfortunately, like I tell people, listen, bro, you're right. And this is the bad thing. People get on here and they be like, yeah, like you said, see how you making that comment? I don't take it as bad because you know why? That dumb young nigga is gone. That this old man is all that's left. The reason why I'm telling the story is because I'm trying to stop other young men from walking down that road. Hey, look, no, don't go that way, bro. I did that. Look what happened to me, man. Look at this dummy right here. Don't do what I did. It was stupid. Like most people sit out, think about it. Out of all the times, even back then, they was talking about, well, shit, maybe we should get a GoFundMe and we hook Dre up. No. The best way you want to help Dre out, keep talking about how stupid I acted to make sure ain't nobody else do this damn shit.
I'm glad you said that, Dre. I'm glad
you know what I mean. Keep use me as a fucking example, brothers and sisters. Hey man, I don't want to be like Judge Dre. He fucked up.
There you go. And all you brothers who like to get that head, and she put that condom on at the same time she giving head, she's biting a hole in it if she's trying to get your baby.
Right. So, I tell people all the time, no, bro. That's why
I want to back that up. Look at Bernard. He want to back that up. He ain't never heard that one before.
But Bernard, I don't know who. I don't.
Wait a minute. I just respond to what OG said. I don't think people actually doing condom on oral sex. I think people will get oral sex raw and then put a condom on.
No, that's not the way it's done in new generation. That's old style, Bernard. The new generation understand that a woman can be bleeding in her mouth, so she can still pass off diseases if she's giving it raw. So a lot of brothers feel protected because they get so excited when it's done and they just want to put it in and they ain't got time to put the condom on. So a lot of brothers just get the condom put on from the beginning. And if she's a bad woman who wants your seed, she's going to bite a hole in the tip of that condom while she's giving you head. And then when you put it in, 9 months later, you got a surprise in the oven.
Facts. I mean, remember, I got a child by rape.
So you was raped, brother? How many was it? 1 or 2?
I remember, actually, technically, I have 4 kids.
No, I say, how many women was it? 1 or 2? You said you got raped. I didn't say the R word. I said great.
I told the story. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said the
word. He messed with big girls. That's how it happened.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
But I know it's impossible when you are afraid for that thing to rise up. If you put a gun to a man's head or a knife, wait a minute.
I'm gonna tell you why. Go
wait a minute. Just a minute.
It's not.
I know if you put a gun or a knife to a man's head, whatever was up is getting ready to go down.
Okay, now
because fear will not let you have a heart on.
All right, let him explain.
Okay, since you want to say, I done told the story before. I hate going back, but basically, what I said.
Give us the short version.
Short version is this. Basically, if I was a woman, it would be considered rape. I was under the influence. Okay, I was drunk as all get out. I kept telling the woman to stop, get off of me. I was passed out drunk. Yes, your dick still works when you're drunk. I don't know about you, but mine does.
Mine's only work if I got drunk. I think the only way it would work if I did a popsicle stick and some duct tape.
Bro, wait. I'm just gonna even tell you like this. Just to give an example. She even admitted it afterwards. Just to show you how deep. And look. She actually admitted it again a year ago that's what happened.
Are you taking therapy for it, brother? Are you taking?
No, I'm not. I mean, I'm not mad about. I'm not mad. I mean, it's just maybe you got to take that L. Look. And the reason, like, people think I'm not doing it for sympathy, but I'm doing that to warn other men not to. You got to keep your head on the swivel at all times. Think about it. I'm not saying I ain't gonna pay. I gotta pay. That's what the rule is. No, but I'm just saying, look, I gotta pay. That's what the rule is. I'm just telling the young men, keep your head on a fucking swivel at all times. Don't get sloppy whatsoever at any point in time. Head on a swivel.
But not
appreciate it.
Hey, but not.
Yeah. But think about it. And think about wait. But here's what's so funny. See how you motherfucker. Wait a minute, bro. Sit back a minute. Sit back, nigga. I'm gonna just say this. Wait a minute,
Negro.
You motherfuckers sitting up here laughing.
The other one.
Wait, bro. But listen. See how you motherfuckers sitting up here laughing.
All right, come on. Wait. Hold on. Wait. You said
you called me the N-word, but nah, he's out when he called me that.
Okay, but bro, I'm trying to say this. Look, bro. I'm taking one for the team. See how you guys are sitting up here laughing and shit like it's all funny. It's a man that's gonna sit here and watch this show and you're gonna be like, you know what? I heard what happened to that dude. I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna be aware.
Yeah,
that's the reason. Think about it. I'm taking a hit on my reputation to say that, to tell the truth, to make sure that somebody else don't get fucked over.
Comedy has always
most motherfuckers wouldn't do that shit. Y'all niggas are worried about being talked about.
No, honestly, me personally, as a 36-year-old
so
man,
don't say the entertainment don't educate people.
I appreciate that. I really do.
I mean, I'm taking a hit.
I appreciate what
I don't. Y'all are talking like y'all can't hear each other. All right, let's All right, let's get Well, I think King Trini was just you were just more or less reiterating that you appreciate him telling the story. But heard that right?
I appreciate because honestly, one of what he's saying, I've actually done that. Like I've observed men and some of the mistakes they made, even my father, and I've try to operate in a way to where I'm not making those same mistakes. So I do appreciate him, using himself as an example to younger men to not make the same mistakes. That's noble. Like I'm not gonna knock that.
All right, George. And passing it to OG. I think
George.
Go ahead.
I seen my mom slip and fall one time. I couldn't make a joke of it that day. But by the time the summertime came around, we was all sitting around at the cookout. We laughed about it. All right. That's not it as if it wasn't an educational moment when we was laughing about it, but it still don't take away the seriousness of what you're saying. But jokes have always been about other people's miseries. That's what comedy is. So even though it's comedy, because Bernard one that told me it was about 85% entertainment, 85% entertainment, and what's the name? So that's the way I look at it.
I don't know if I said that.
Would you
Well, I
say
mean,
75?
entertainment. I don't even remember ever giving percentages, but it is supposed to be entertaining as well as informative. I think the phrase is educate, entertain, enlighten, or something like that.
There you go. So it's not that I'm taking you lightly, brother, but what I'm saying is, in the end of the day, whatever we talk about on these type of channels, there got to be some accountability, and you are giving that because you're using yourself as an example. And this is what I appreciate out of it more than anything, because you are trying to educate brothers about the situation that you went through. But in the midst of that, we're going to make some jokes about it too, because it didn't just happen yesterday.
Oh, I don't mind the jokes. I mean, I got to take it. No offense. I tell you like this, man, I did that crime. Like, they did a show on serial baby makers. And I came up and it was like, see, y'all keep blaming the woman. No, if you notice, the men were blaming me. And if you never noticed, I didn't say, no, fuck them for blaming me. I did that shit. I'm guilty as charged.
Most certainly. So now we're Bernard, get some damn sleep, man.
No, I don't know why I'm yawning. I think I went to sleep. I think I got a reasonable amount of sleep. I don't know why I'm yawning, but shout out to Paul Game. Says OGJ Speed is excited to be set free on Bernard's panel. Yeah, he had to give him his freedom papers. He you be over here wilding, but we gotta turn him loose today. He ain't been here in a while, so you know. But
you gotta tell the truth sometimes. He can't keep misleading y'all all the time. He gotta have a look. I'm up for award too, the adversary of the year.
Yeah, I saw that. I was happy for
and
y'all.
Most of that due to your channel.
Yes. Yep. You got my vote. Actually, I didn't even go vote because I was nominated in so many categories. I felt like it would be wrong for me to vote, so I was like, I want to stay out of it. but yeah, no, I was happy to see you nominated. You did,
but you got to look at it like the All-Star game. The coaches and the owners get the vote. You know what I mean? That's part of the process. Yeah, so you might want to revisit that.
Yeah, I might go in there and skew it in my way a little bit. Just do.
Because if you don't vote for yourself, how you expect everybody else to vote for you?
Right on. I hear you.
So, Church, in the end of the day, are your children grown now? Do they appreciate?
Wait, hold on. Wait, before. Okay, yeah, that's a good question. I got something too, but go ahead on that one. Judge, are you there? Well, no. Okay, well, he's not there, but what I do want to try to get down to the book.
I'm here.
Okay, all right. So go ahead. He asked you a fairly good question.
What's the question?
What do your children appreciate you now for all your hard work trying to prove that you was an upstanding father, and you was willing to do what it takes, and you even served time for it?
Well,
your children appreciate it.
I understand. I mean, like I said, you can take good and bad. I appreciate it, man. But I'm just saying the main reason of it is not for sympathy. I tell the stories. It's to just stop
he's asking about your kids. Hold on, real quick, Judge. He asked the question about your kids because do your kids understand or appreciate? Because truthfully, the kid.
Oh hell no, they don't care
about child. Exactly. That's where I was going, because children have no concept of a dad working 16 hours so he can be able to pay back a debt to the state that's associated with them, and in theory, that money is supposed to be going to them. They don't interpret it that way. They don't. So
until they have children.
Question. It's a good question, but I kind of knew it was a good question with a predictable answer. I knew that they didn't care. They didn't have no concept of that. Because I'll say this: it was a guy I worked with. He was going through a divorce right there while we was working together. Had 4 daughters. Child support was basically cutting him in half, taking half his check, and so the mom, they were essentially, everything that she did with the daughters with that check, it didn't matter, because it was a fat ass check. It didn't. In their mind, that was just mom spending money on them. Mm-hmm. That was just mom doing this for them. That was just mom taking care of them. And seeing as he had to work all day, you know, at a factory and then go, you know, basically just to, you know, that was his money that he used to pay his child support with a little bit left over. And then he would have to go cut hair at a barber shop just to get cash in hand that he could, you know, live off of. He was doing that. They didn't see that. They didn't care. And when their mom took them somewhere or did something with them, or, you know, they had dinner with the mom every day or this or that, that's all they know is their mom was taking care of them, and they just wasn't seeing their dad as much anymore. So all his work, everything that he's doing,
I'll tell you this.
it was nothing to them.
Well, I'll tell you, this is the perfect example. My son has seen all the dirt that his mom has done, this, that, and the other. And to go to show you how the brainwashing and stuff is so in effect. He
Damn, what was that?
It's like all this. I said something negative about females, and now he don't want to speak. He didn't speak to me for almost a year.
Damn.
And I'm like, well, wait a minute.
He heard you say, hold on, wait, he heard you say something. Wait, he heard you say something negative about female in general?
Yeah, like women lying and all that, and he got mad because I told him that women lie. I mean, they're so brainwashed.
Well, yeah, that comes from the mom side. Like that's another story, honestly. I had this conversation with one of my friends the other day, who he has a lot of hostility towards his father, and I was explaining to him, if you want to have a relationship with your father and you want your father to have a relationship with his grandkids, that hostility needs to go, because that hostility didn't come from you; it came from your mother. Like, if we're gonna be honest with you, you had no reason to hate your father. You don't know why he's not there. Your mother can tell you a reason why he's not there, but it could be a lie. My mother told me my father was just a deadbeat. I didn't know he came home and I was just gone. When I met him, I got the full story. When you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta, when you become an adult, you have to remove yourself from that childlike mindset and have an understanding that both people lie. Okay, both people lie. Men lie, women lie. Get the truth. And then place yourself in the middle of the truth and have an understanding that that's your father. You should respect him no matter what, and that's your mother. You should respect her no matter what. And you're gonna be. I mean, as a kid, you're gonna be okay. But that situation is a very deep situation, because definitely within our community, we deal with that a lot. A lot of kids have resentment for their fathers because of stories they got from their mothers and their mother's side of the family, that in some cases just ain't the truth. Just ain't the truth.
And that's the tragedy. And that's the tragedy of all these stories.
I'll give you another example. One of my friends was actually, and this is one of the things that as Black men, we have to check our emotions. And I was telling him this. He was telling me the story about pretty much his mom and his father, about how his father found out his mother was cheating on him and broke down and had to check into an asylum. And because of that, he was in an asylum, and his mother went on and moved on with the next dude. He got that story from his father, and he said, okay, that's a good excuse. But when I look at my son, I say, oh, there's nothing possible that can keep me from wanting to raise my son. And I'm like, that's emotion right there, bro. Your father was in an asylum. You've never been in an asylum. You don't know what it takes to get up out of there. So how can you say there's nothing that won't keep you from your son? Like, you can't. You're using your emotions to come at something that can't be fathomed in your brain because you didn't go through it. And you just dismissing your father's trauma. Your father went through a mental breakdown because of what your mother did to him. And that's just supposed to be nothing because you feel like he should still want to raise you. Bro, get out of that emotion and understand what your father is trying to tell you. The only reason why you're in that emotion is because your mother raised you to be an emotional man. You can't think logically.
They say, I understand that. And a lot of you brothers think, look, the stuff you talk about, I haven't experienced. Ain't too many brothers on these channels, nowhere in the Manosphere, outside the Manosphere, have ever had their son taken out of his arm with 4 or 5 shotguns in his face by the police department. I had that experience. So when y'all start thinking that I'm just simping and all that, but what I'm saying is, from them type of experiences in my life, I learned how to avoid certain things in my life. And me and my son is still trying to put that relationship back together. I have never told him the story because I feel like it's his mother to tell him the story. So, and when that happened, it happens. We go build on where we at now and build and go forward. And so when I come on these channels, I do play the devil advocate. You know what I mean? And that's what I do. I do that to bring the best and the worst out of us so we can get a greater understanding.
Why do you think it's the mother's job to tell that story? Why wouldn't you talk to your son
because
about that?
At this time there was no story told, and if I tell the story, it will see what I have learned about fathers telling stories to children or mothers telling stories to children. In the end of the day, a child has already made up his mind, and so the greatest source, the greatest source that child can get the story from, and you'd be hoping that she would put some truth in it, that it would be graded from the source that raised that child, and then you can follow up on that story afterwards. But you let her tell that story first. Definitely. And see, the story has not been told to this point. And so I know why the story has not been told to this point, because she's trying to determine how she's going to tell it.
Thank you. He's
or she might not tell it at all, like in the situation with my friend. She won't tell
and then me and my son would build a relationship from where we are.
Right. Well, see, this is my thing with it. I mean, there's a time and place where what you're saying, I think, is more important. But seeing as you older than Moses at this point, I mean, your son is
46.
Like, so your son is 46. Yeah, so I mean, he's almost 50. Like,
but what I'm saying is, Bernard, sometimes in life you have to step back from what you know is right and let right and true reveal itself, because I do believe whatever was done in the dark will come to the light. That's what I believe. And if I have that in a strong belief, I'm not trying to kill our relationship where it's at now. I don't want to put a stumbling block into it where it's at now, because we're building on it. We was born on the same birthday. So what I'm trying to say is, where we at now is cool. He still asks me every once in a while, when you go write that book, Dad? I'll be saying, when I can grasp the goddamn English language, I'm gonna write that book, or unless I get a ghostwriter. So it is a book. It's a good book, because too many guys have never experienced that the sheriff department comes with a court order and say, this child no longer is in your possession. It goes to the mother, without me knowing it served any papers, but at the moment it was done. And so I do have a story. I do have a story that I could get sympathy and all that other kind of stuff, but I prefer to build on it. Tell the story to build on it, just like Jared say, so no other people have to go through this. I understand that the court system is unfair for men, but there are certain things we can use as tools that we can use, and we discussed this many times before. But in these stories that Jared say, Tiny Pot said that they never go out and get Pookies and Ray Rays. Well, then maybe we need to talk to the Pookies and Ray Rays and try to understand how they're able to maneuver themselves around that system. They could be used as a tool.
Well,
I can answer that one. Hold on, wait. The Pookie and Ray Rays, as he was defining it, and I'm not trying to get into the whole Pookie and Ray Ray, manosphere aspect of the debate, but just Pookie's as he was defining it. He was defining it as the unproductive dudes who they could try to go and take them to the court and get something from them, but you can't squeeze. You can't squeeze a whole lot of juice out of a stepped on orange. I mean, he ain't what they gonna get from him,
But they do get locked up a lot, and so their names is in the system.
Well, this is how they end up getting locked up, is when she's also a female Pookie, and she ain't got nothing going on in her life. She got to go get on the system, and so when she go and get her welfare, then she got to name somebody, and then she named the Pookie, and now the Pookie is in the system, and then. So his child support is, calculated based off, not somebody who don't got a job that comes out to, but he'll end up getting in arrears over $50 a month. That'll pile up to the point, and then he get pulled over, and then get taken into jail. He get pulled over, got a warrant for his arrest, get taken into jail, and then now he's in jail over child support that was $50 a month.
Okay,
that's how. But far as when they get devious, like the situation that I just described with a man who was married and had 4 daughters, she was getting him for more than half of his check after the divorce, And through some technicality, she went down there trying to get even more because he realized that, you know, the time that he was supposed to be with the kids, it was kind of conflicting with his work schedule, that he had to work a lot of hours to be able to pay for it. And then so he said, well, okay, it's fine. You could just go ahead and keep him that day and I'll just get him in the morning, because he was working nights. And then, you know, they both agreed to that. And then she said, okay, great. And then she went down there after they agreed that that was the best option. And he was doing that for the, you know, for her and the kids, because there was some inconvenience with the whole thing, because, you know, the kids weren't even with him. So she the kid's mom was like, well, if they're not even going to be with you during that time overnight because you're working nights, then they might as well just stay with me and you just pick them up in the morning when you get off work. She did that, and then went down, and then after they agreed to it, they went right down there, and she went down there and tried to change the paperwork, change the order, and try to get more money for them, because she technically smuggled in another overnight. So the money that she was already getting, that what was all the way up there, it was a lot. She tried to see if she could tax some even more on it. And so I'm saying all of that to say that the working man who gives a damn, who going to work 16 hours if need be to make sure that he could pay whatever he got to pay and pay bills and pay bills at his house, that's the man who they going to go after and go at hard. Pookie, who just gonna bounce from her to another woman and be on some other woman couch, not bringing any money in, you can't get nothing from him. You can't get nothing from him at all. And just for the record, folks, you know, I don't like to play. You know, the woman that I was talking about who did that, as RM just said, did that diabolical stuff. That was a white woman. Just want to make it clear. This was a brother married. That was a brother married to a white woman. Like I've been.
No, not the white woman.
Yeah, I tell you, they don't scratch up your car or slash your tires or throw bricks through the window as much. They will get in your ass one way or another.
So this is for the brothers who always say, "Where the white women at?" Bernard, I'm gonna give everybody a secret. Don't go nowhere, my brother. Don't go nowhere. I'm gonna give everybody a secret. The way we was able to change the law in California, my child say, "Daddy," is when she goes in there and fill out them papers for public assistance. At the same time that you go fill out them papers, public assistance has a protocol that they have to follow. It's in their jurisdiction that they have to follow. And that is all the stuff she put on that paper has to be verified. So if she gave you your social security number and stuff like that, then they should have got in touch with you. And if you can prove in the courtroom that her whole case is a fraudulent case, the court has no jurisdiction on that case. She has to bring it again. This is how we got a lot of the cases thrown out when it came to child support, because now you know that the public assistance office, the welfare, whatever y'all call it in y'all city, has to take a report of her finances. If you got any kind of receipts, or you have any kind of money orders, or any kind of bank letterheading, or anything that you do to give to that mother outside of when in child custody comes into play, then that is a fraudulent case that the state is bringing upon you due to the information is fraudulent. Damn, I can't even say the word.
Fraudulent?
Yeah, well, you know, I'm gonna fuck up the word a little bit, Bernard. I wouldn't be me. Hey, Bernard, but you understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah, it's fraudulent. Fraudulent.
All right, go ahead, Judge.
Okay, perfect show for you. Since you're gonna start doing these shows where you're pulling up the Google shit and all that shit, yeah, I got a perfect show. Matter of fact, you should actually do this one tomorrow. Go to the child support calculator and start typing in numbers and see what the damn support shit is. You understand what I'm saying? And then adjust your income, adjust your income, and look how the shit don't change hardly nothing.
What is it? I believe
that's the perfect topic of the show right there.
What is the
Matter of fact, put your cash app in here. I'm paying for that show tomorrow.
But if you get more time with your children, it does make the numbers go down.
No, not more time, more overnights. Be specific.
Overnight. Yeah, when I say more time, so like, if you get like, say you get 40-60, and you didn't have but like weekends every 2 weeks, and then you all of a sudden you get 40-60. You get 40, she has physical custody, she got 60. Them numbers will drop. But then another thing you got to understand too.
Bro, wait.
Let me finish. Let me land this before you get in.
You got to win custody first, though.
Okay, let me get this in. First. You can always get back to it. Let me get this in.
Let him go.
Okay, so another thing too, if you got your children living on a certain status of life, say that child, you was making $60,000 and you were living in the household. This go for married couples too, and non-married couples. If that child lives on a certain status of life, that guideline that you bringing up from the court system has nothing to do with it, because they go try to put that child on the status of what that child was living at by the time you came out of that child's life or in that child's life. So that really makes the numbers go real high. If you had a good job from the beginning and all of a sudden you had a job, you got fired, you got laid off or whatever, you have to actually go back into court and have that readjusted.
All right, Judge, go ahead. You muted. He was trying to butt in and like, let me talk. 5 seconds go by, now that he on the airplane.
He's trying to recalculate it and readjust what I just said.
No, he probably got a phone call. That'd be happening sometimes. But honestly, I appreciate the show. I appreciate the time you have me on. I gotta go now. Very strong topic, very strong show. I appreciate the show very much, and I appreciate the platform, giving us this platform to, talk about these man issues and iron out some of the traumas that we did, like the shotgun and getting that's trauma. I don't care what nobody says, but I appreciate the platform for allowing us to get that out as men. We don't always have these platforms. A lot of times when we do give these platforms, they're kind of used against us when we do open up this way. So Bernard, shout out to you. I'm gonna hit you with a cash app as soon as I get a chance. I get packed up to get up out of here. Thank you, bro. Thank you for having me on. If anybody can ever get a chance, check out my new podcast, Black Bridges Podcast, where we try to bridge the gap between Africans and outside of the diaspora. I appreciate it.
Wait, your podcast, you do that on YouTube?
Yeah, I do it on YouTube, yes.
Okay, well, hold on. Wait a second. Let me pull up the YouTube. Let me get it dropped in the chat as soon as I find hold on. What is it called? Black Bridges Podcast?
Black Bridges Podcast, yes.
Hold on. All right. Well, thank you for coming on up. I will drop your link. Yeah, okay, that's cool. That was easy to find. Look like you just getting started. Just grabbed a new subscriber.
Yeah, just getting started. It's been about probably a month. Yeah, probably a little bit under a month, I would say.
All right, y'all go over there. Y'all go over there. Show the brothers some. Oh, it look like RM already on it. Yeah. Damn, she good. I'm sitting there late.
Said RM already. I appreciate it, RM. I appreciate it.
Y'all go sub to the brother. Y'all go sub to the brother. All right, cool.
But now you got my channel striked.
I didn't get your channel strike.
No. Not you were at fault from. I'm just saying is, like, when I come on your channel, I give my secondary channel because I don't want my major channel to grow. I want to keep it under 200, and it's 300 now. And that was due to the fact some people did some research. I don't know if they came over to hate me because they couldn't like me that much. I only have like 5 people like me on your channel. So what I'm saying is they took it up 300, and I got a strike for some shit that I was able to do for almost 2 years. So please don't go over to my channel and subscribe. Go over there and leave bad comments, whatever you want to do. But please don't subscribe if you know my original channel, because the channel I'm using here is not my original channel. It's not the channel that I really go in on. So please don't do that, because I am a brother who really don't need that 5 minutes of fame. I need to just get on there and talk shit the way I want to talk shit. And I can only do that if I keep it under 300 or 200.
Okay. So if I understood that right, you have 2 channels, correct?
I have 5 channels, Bernard.
Okay. So I want to make sure that we don't drop the link for the one that you be being real indecent on. Yeah. We don't want to drop the link for that one. You want that one to stay small. So I want to say all that stuff that you don't want the feds watching. You want to.
There you go.
All right, understood.
And so the one you see Talkback Radio, that's the one I really don't care about. That's the one I advertise on your channel. I really don't care about, but I still don't, I just don't care about. But the one you see with the headphones on right there, that's my major channel. But that's the picture of my major channel, but it's not the one that I promote. I don't want to promote that channel because I really come and just be honest. I don't want a black channel. I want a channel that I speak to the people. And that's my major channel. I speak to the people. I don't speak to just a color. I speak to evil and good. Good and evil.
Right on, right on. Uncle Sue, the old man on the block, says, salute, salute. Bernard Riley, your email coming tonight. Judge Dre, much respect to you, Judge Dre. The topic already done by TLA, supporting good black male content. Oh, yeah, that's right. TLA did do that. He did do that. That child support calculator thing where he was calculating. Yeah, he be calculating a lot of people child support over there. But shout out to TLA and shout out to Uncle Stu, the old man on the block. I got to clip that moment where Uncle Stu went off on my channel yesterday. I got to clip that and just make a pre-recorded out of that. Oh yeah, he was snapping. He was snapping.
Damn, he was on your channel though.
Yeah. Oh no, he didn't go off on me. He just went off.
Oh, well, Uncle Stu had went on when he was on your channel, so he just had a regurgitation of what he was doing on your channel yesterday. I've been in the background. I've been in the cloud watching.
You said he had a regurgitation?
Of what happened.
Oh, he did that on his channel?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, no, I didn't see that. But I do want to. I mean, I was going to.
You gotta stop getting Uncle Sue all upset, letting people come up and getting him upset because his voice kept getting higher and higher. I like, goddamn, is he gonna turn into Aretha Franklin or somebody? Because he was getting a little uptight yesterday. He kept going higher and higher. I like, damn, is this one of them Richard Field moments or something? You know,
he was literally preaching.
Yeah, because one guy came in, he thought he was talking about him, but he was talking about another guy. And then he went blazing. That flamethrower came out, goddamn hand grenades, everything. And then he settled down when you told him he was talking about someone else.
Oh, yeah. He was.
Your waves is coming in real good, brother, but it ain't covering up that bald spot coming in too.
Well, which one? You talking about?
You got a bald spot right there in the middle of your head. Your head is growing out of your hair.
Well, the headset can cover up the little bald spot that's like sort of.
I got some stuff you put on there, Bernard. Take care of that.
Did it work for you?
Yeah, look, you see, I still got my baby hair, so you know it works for me. And I ain't talking about that spray on shit. Look at that. That looks good. Look at it. Blow it up. Looks good. Damn.
Is that that's
62 years old.
That look like you got a perm.
That ain't no perm, brother. That's that goddamn good, natural, Asian-added black man's hair.
Asianatic?
Yeah, you know that's what you say in the Nation of Islam.
Oh, okay. So that ain't no you ain't got no juices and berries. No, you got
no. But I'm just saying,
Soul Glow.
No, I'm just saying that's a technique. You know how you train your hair for waves? You can train your hair for loose curls too, without putting any chemicals in it. Because that's what you do when you put waves in your hair. You train it to have a looser curl.
I know, but it looked like you grew it. Like if you just let it grow regular, you'll have like a little bitty afro. But it looked like you grew like a little bitty afro and put something in it and then slicked it to the side.
They have
you should have thing. If you take the headset off, is it like a Frederick Douglass part like right here?
Yeah, I got a part in my hair right now. You're right. I got a part.
So you got one of them old school parts
in my hair right now as we talk. Yes. As we talk, because I love that look. That was called a Southern New Jersey type look. You know what I mean? His nation was famous for that look. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is they got this little thing called a sponge that you just put in your hair and you go around in a circle. It would help your waves out too. If you use that and then do the waves, it will make your waves just, my man, they'll be on the blast.
Now let me ask you about that part, because I always view that as, obviously white folks with their their hair is straight, so it's easy for them to just comb a part into their hair. And I always thought it was weird when black people with afros was combing a part in their hair. I was like, they trying to, we can't exactly just make a natural part just from taking a comb and going.
No, we cut that line in. We actually, with short hair, you cut that line in.
What I know, but when I look at older pictures with their afros, they was having like a little part going like right there. And
right,
I'm like,
and that's combed in. That's different. That's like when people part your hair to braid your hair. That's the same technique. See, that's what makes
they would have to work hard to to make a part in their hair. And it's like I always thought like they bending over backwards trying to do what white people are doing.
No, I think it really comes from, we have this dynamic. Now, help me with the word,
dynamic.
bro. Yeah, dynamic hair. That we can do so many things with it. That's what make people so jealous of our hair. We can do so many things with it. And we can make it look like a hat. We can make it look like it's been fried. We can do all kinds of shit with our hair that other people just can't do. So back in the day, when people had afros, you had a lot of people who had afros who could what we call the tiny afro, and they couldn't never grow that big one. So they would do other things to make people bring attention to their hair. So yeah, you know, you got all kinds of style. Like you're like your waves, Okay, your waves look good, all right. But if you was to take your waves and turn them to the side, it'd be different from other people waves that has that beehive circle. Because now you got what everybody else got. But if you brush it to the side, then you become unique with your waves, because your waves would be going on the side, making people dizzy, versus just looking at you at front.
Let me ask you this question, because Uncle Stu, I think he might be misinterpreting what you said. When you said he went off on his channel, did you mean that in a negative way? When I said he went off, yeah, I meant he went off like he snapped. He brought the heat. He brought the fire. Yeah,
he was bringing the fire. I mean, he was just getting into it. I mean, he brought that heat. I don't mean in a negative way. I mean that y'all brought the best out of him yesterday. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I don't mean in a negative way. Uncle Stu is Uncle Stu. You know, you get what you get with him, and so he's gonna bring that fire if you step on his toe, and so that's what I'm talking about in a good way, not in a bad way.
And Uncle Stu is technically not a boomer. He's a older Gen X.
I know that. He's probably been able to buy beer ever since he was 14 years old. He just got that old look.
Yeah. He ain't one of the boomers. I think he's
he just got that
he's
old
early
look.
50s. He's like, I think he's in that Obsidian age range. I think he's about the same age as Obsidian, you know.
Yeah, I know I look younger than him. I'm not bragging about it, but I know I look younger. I mean, hell, but not in a good day, I look younger than you.
In
a good day, I'm telling you.
A good day 30 years ago.
Hey, no, in a good day, we dress up and you put me and you beside each other. I swear they would think that you was the older brother.
All right, man.
On your best days. Hey, man, it's been a groove. It's in the mood. I know you about ready to shut it down. You got things to do. Hey, look, the look is good. Look, Bernard, the look is good. What you're doing right there, because you're highlighting yourself, you're bringing yourself forward to the camera. It's good. It's a good look, but don't get all them toys that you got in there and that brand new marvelous studio, and don't use it to its full max. This look is good, but you need to go back to the table, because this look, I'm telling you why you need to go back to the table, because you brought class to the Manosphere, and you need to keep it that way, because when you changed it for a reason. You didn't want just a still shot with a person with a camera on them. You wanted things around it, and that table brings your level of conversation and a level of look, presentation. It brings it to a different class. You need to go back to it. I like this look because you up front, but you did that for a reason. You built that studio for a reason. Use it to its max.
Yeah. The reason I moved, because something that I figured out, because the table is set up, or the desk is set up close to the wall. Now, one way to get in good HD where it looked like right now I'm kind of out of focus, but hold on, in focus right there. To get that look, you got to create separation from you and your background. So when I was all the way back there, me and the background was too close to where I didn't pop out in HD like this. So I had to come closer. Now, if I'm going to be at the desk like that, I have to rearrange everything and bring the desk
it's
up.
the color scheme that's throwing it off. See, you got to know stuff of whoever's telling you about your cameras. It's
Nobody.
It's the color scheme that's throwing everything off. It's not where you setting it. It's this color scheme. Once you change, like there's certain things in Hollywood, there is a rule. You don't wear reds in any picture. You hardly ever see reds in any picture, not close-up shots, because it gives that fuzzy look. So there's certain color schemes. Just go on YouTube and start looking up videos with color schemes that go give you that 4K look, or that 1080 look that you were looking for. Just see now you so into the camera, it almost looked like you green screening, bro. That's what I'm telling you. Because you will have everything in the foreground and you have everything out of focus in the background. It's almost seems as you don't even have a studio that you are looking like you green screening.
Well, the TV being on in the background and things moving around back there, I think that kind of gives it away that I'm not green screening, but
no,
I do
because
like
you can actually have all that done even in green screen. It ain't the look in the background as much it is where you are in the foreground. It almost looked like you set yourself into this shot versus being, tangible where people can see you, that you are all, you got mechanisms around you and you got things working around you. Look, you can take
I
this
hear
from
you.
advice. I worked in Hollywood for 35 years. I know how these white boys did their stuff. And I'm just telling you, brought another class. I think I was one of the first one with a studio. When I first came in 2018, you go back and look at some of my old videos, I built that studio. So I'm telling you, you brought a different look to the Manosphere. Use it to its max. Anybody can green screen.
It ain't green screen.
I know it ain't, but I'm just saying, if you got that look, then you're taking away from what you built.
No, I hear you. I hear you. And I got a number of things because as you can see, it's still a microphone right there on the desk. Now, for example, let's just say when it's set up now to where I could move it around, even though this camera is a great camera. And my other camera, they say it's the best camera, but I still ain't figured out how to properly, make it do what it do. But I could technically go back to the desk. I wish the other camera was still plugged up. Like I would be able to change the camera, go back to the desk, and let's just say I have an in-studio guest, they could be sitting in the couch. It's a couch behind me. They could be sitting in that couch and I could be there. And then I could do some stuff where I'm right here is more personable and I'm in focus and the background zoomed out. So I'm in HD. But when I go back there, the way it's set up, I would be in less HD, but I would be at the desk and I can have a wider shot where they get in the full wider shot of the studio, then another shot over there where they getting me and a potential guest in the shot, and then still have another one close where they getting me.
Right. Well, you have a 3-shot.
Like
you use the same thing we use in Hollywood when we have 3-shot. But let me tell you something. Most of the people don't understand this. You ever wonder why you see sitcoms or you see shows and they don't have microphones on them? They use boom mics and stuff like that. Even in the Johnny Carson show, if you understand how it's done, they even had dummy mics on the table that really was not hooked up. They still use boom mics. And so you have a clearance that you use when you using your shot where you never ever see the boom mic. And when you do, it's a oops in the recording. You'll find out, especially if your studio if it's soundproof, you'll find out boom mics give you a different sound. It gives you more of like somebody can touch you. The way you sounding now is like you coming off the radio versus that I cannot touch him. And you only go get that sound from boom mics. And that's when you set your cameras where it never really pick up the boom mic. And so, but your sound is totally different. It's more of a live, I can touch him. Right here, it's like they visually seeing you on the radio. And so we can have a technique we call cheating. That means your table, if it's not stationary, you can bring it forward a little bit so you can get that clarity that you want.
Yeah, I may change some things up. I mean, one, I like what I'm doing right now. It's fast, quick, easy. Everything is set up. I don't have to touch nothing. But overall, yeah, it will be some more changes. Like when I first started out, like I said, when I first started on the studio, I was sitting at the desk. It was back further, then it was up close. Then I played around with it. So I will play around with it some more. But it will be like this in the foreseeable future. But eventually, I'm going to figure out a way to mix it up again. I will use it. It's a whole nother room in here that I'm going to do some stuff with potentially. So yeah, as long as I'm at this location, you're gonna constantly see it growing. Bit by bit. It may look the same for 2 months, then it may look different a week later. Then if I really get going, it may look different every week. But overall,
I know you're gonna take care. Look, a good look for you, right? a good look for you in your studio is to take that desk you have. It's very large. Put it over to the side where you got the sofa at. All right. And then listen what I'm saying. Take it over there and put it over the sofa. Put you some bar chairs right there where you have side guests. Take that chair, that sofa, put it on the other side and get a shorter desk for you. And so when you have guests, it looks like it's a home setting studio where you can actually see the people without tripping off the cameras, changing camera angles. When you do the 4 camera, you will have your guests in you, and then you have 1 camera just on you. You see what I'm saying? And then you can have that 3rd camera on the side where you don't turn that into a bar and have bar seats, so you have people as audience on the side.
The seat that I was sitting at when I was sitting at the desk is a bar seat, and I do have 2 of those.
Right.
So I had 2 of those for a reason. And so yeah, a lot of the stuff you're throwing out there is stuff I already, kind of thought about. But it's but no, some of it I didn't think about. But no, yeah, it's all good. It's all
you go get it. You go get it. You go look. Johnny Carson didn't become what he become just because the first show was just as good as the last show. It improved itself over the years. If you ever look at how really talk shows are done, they are even done now either in a circle or that style that I just given to you, and it brings more of you can be touched, you can be, and more of your audience.
All right,
can feel like they can touch you.
All right, stop talking about people touching me.
Oh well, not God, man, God damn! I thought your cape was, you act like that's kryptonite, but it's okay.
All right.
Hey, look, man, I know you got to go. Thanks for letting me back on. I had to come up with Teapot because I know Tiny Pot. I'm his greatest adversary. So we talk to each other on the phone.
I still don't know why I talk to you on the phone.
Hey, look, I think I'm like a big brother to him, but he's older than me, but not really. But I think he just look at me as a big brother who's wrong all the time.
Yeah, that's about accurate. I'm glad you said that. But all right, OG. All right,
take it
thanks,
easy,
man.
I'm out here. Peace and love to your audience and your chat room, and RM, and just doing a great job. My bro who put that award thing together, that was great.
Yeah,
and it gave y'all a platform where y'all can go and shoot off from that. And by the next time y'all have y'all meet up, that's something y'all could think about on the first, second anniversary of your show.
Yeah. No, that's a good idea to merge the awards show with the meet. Oh shit! See, you just added some value. All the other stuff you said was some bull, but you just added some value right there. We doing the Manosphere meetup.
The last day of the meetup should be a banquet. Always, that's when you give the awards out and everything at the last day. That's the banquet.
Yeah, and then we get the nominees. Enough nominees fly out, that'll make it a whole little thing. Yeah, that's hype. I like that. That's a good idea.
Something.
It's about time. Damn.
All right, y'all have a good week. Have an amazing week.
All right. All right, OGJ Speed in the building, and once again, look, thank you everybody who support. Oh shit, I almost forgot. Shout out to, I think that was a Black Bridge podcast who sent me a Cash App. Black Bridge podcast in the building. He says, oh wait, hold on. I don't know for sure if this is him. Yes, it is him. So yeah, I don't want to say it's government. I don't even know if that's his government or not. But either way, go Black Bridge podcast in the building, says thanks for the support. Yeah, y'all go sub to that brother. The link was in the chat. RM, if you got it, drop it one last time. But yeah, y'all definitely go support, go sub to that brother. Appreciate him coming through. Drop the $50 Cash App on me. Also, let's give a special thanks to Jackie Jack in the building, saying thanks for the content. No, you thanking me for giving you your wrench back. I gave you the ultimate compliment that some people said was blasphemy. They said it. I think Rod God said it was blasphemy. I said when it comes to a woman who's good at arguing the points and thinking on her feet and being quick with it and having to spitting the argument out nice, fast, and quick and getting to the point, I said she has Jessica X level talent when it comes to doing that. And Rod called that blasphemy, but no, Jackie Jack is good. Other than her trying to say that are the arts belong in the STEM. Other than that, Jackie Jack is pretty damn Good. She slowly earned her wrench back. Shout out to Sunny's Hot Rod, who came in here and lost his wrench and got it back on the same day. But shout out to everybody in the building. Appreciate each and every one of you, everybody who supported the stream, who supported in any way, shape, or form, whether you like, share, subscribe, super chatted, or watched in indifference, whatever you did to be a part of this. I greatly appreciate you. A shout out again to Joe Ethereal, dropped a $101 cash app on it. Y'all show so much love. Appreciate each and every one of you. We out of here. Peace. We gone.